It's Tuesday morning and welcome to Live at the Range. We are here to get up close and personal with the players as they prepare for the 152nd Open Championship and all the demands of links golf. The question is, who will finish top of the yellow scoreboard come Sunday evening and become part of the rich history of the Open Championship?
Now the climax of this 111th Open. And would you believe it, after all that toing and froing, Tom Watson almost submerged by well wishes.
And he has 20 under par. What a performance. A round of 63.
Here goes the postage stamp.
What about that?
Calcavecchia has several putts for the Open. One is enough, the closing three.
And Sweden at last has a male major champion, Henrik Stenson, on his first visit to Royal Troon.
Royal Troon lies in wait. How all today's players battle the elements to etch their place in Open history.
Yes, we are all set for a brilliant day two of the Open Championship. Here with Rich Beam this morning, bright and early. How many coffees have you had today, Rich?
I don't do coffee, sadly,
Okay.
but I do tea.
English breakfast tea in Scotland.
I do, yes. It's exactly it. No milk, no sugar, no nada. Just give me the cup and the tea and let's go.
Oh, lovely to see you. And what a day we have in prospect. Slightly different conditions, Rich, this morning. We were debating whether to have an umbrella or not. A wee bit dreek, as they say in Scotland.
Oh, this isn't dreamy.
This is nothing, is it?
This is
Just a
nothing.
little
This
bit
is
of
just a little pitter
hair
patter.
fluff drizzle.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is just going to mat my hair down a little bit, take the product out of it, and make it flat. But other than that, no, this is glorious. I mean, no wind. Temperature is very comfortable. You know, I mean, you want to be on the golf course right now.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Okay. I will retract that statement. It's just due to hair problems with me. In terms of yesterday, some stories that were happening. Brian Harman returned the claret jug, which is obviously a tradition of the Open Championship. My goodness, what a win last year at Royal Liverpool. And the last person to successfully defend their Open Championship was obviously Podrick Harrington, 2007, 2008. A difficult feat. Tell us how Brian's been playing over the last 12 months.
Yeah, I think he's been handling everything, beautifully. I think that Brian's game is kind of suited to this type of golf. You know, he's not a bomber. He kind of keeps it low to the ground, doesn't hit it super high. And I think that's the kind of key of what worked so well for him last year. Obviously, the conditions last year at Royal Liverpool were not fantastic. The weather came in, especially on the weekend, so just keeping it on the ground, chasing it in there, keeping it out of the elements was the key to his victory, and obviously being as efficient as he was on and around the greens, that didn't hurt whatsoever. But I mean, it's just one of those things, Di. You can talk about the Open, talk about the change in the golf course, but you know the golf course can change, but it's more about what Mother Nature's going to throw at you, and that's
unpredictable.
Yeah, exactly, and that's why it's so hard, I think, to defend because you know you still need a little bit of luck in everything. You need a little bit of luck with a draw. It has happened in the past, but you know you have to just be able to embrace the elements because right now what they're going through on the driving range, this is probably not what they're going to see on Thursday.
It's going to be very different.
It's going to be very different weather-wise, or that's what the prediction is, anyways. So right now, it's just more about let's kind of get our games in order, but coming back and trying to defend this like Brian's going to do. You know, it's going to be a lot of the same conditions as last year. So, I mean, you never know. I mean, it could be right up his alley once again.
Yeah, he's really happy with his ball striking, with all his stats. He spoke in the press conference yesterday. He says he feels comfortable with his game, and we know the magic of the Open. You can produce results. I mean, he's had a decent 12 months. Another storyline: Ludvig Aberg playing in his first Open Championship, number 4 in the world rankings. We've been talking about him so much over the last year. I mean, he's such a talent. What do you expect from him over the next few days?
I could imagine just count on what we've been seeing lately. Just put himself into contention, you know, and hopefully he can carry all the way through 72 holes. Last Sunday was a little bit what nobody expected, to be fair, just because of the brilliance of what we saw the first 3 rounds and the ease and the comfort and all that. But, you know, I think sometimes we lose sight of the fact that he is still a very young man, just 24 years old, I believe, and he's still learning this game. I mean, he's still out here, you know, just basically out of college, and all of a sudden in the professional game, you find yourself contending in majors, leading the U.S. Open after 36 holes. And so, I mean, everything is still kind of new to him. So I think that, you know, the more that he plays in majors, and certainly this championship, you know, he'll learn what is needed out of his game to be the most efficient and give him the best chances of winning. But listen, right now, everything that he seemingly does is spectacular. I love watching him play, and he just looks like he's fearless, embracing and having fun. He is fearless. He's just, but listen, I'd be fearless too if I had that game. Like, I wouldn't care about any of the weather. I wouldn't care about anything. If I had that game, ooh, boy, I'd take that thing out for a spin every single day.
Oh, absolutely. He said in Sweden it should have been a national holiday, actually, in 2016 when Henrik Stenson won. He remembers watching a bit of it, and we spoke to Henrik yesterday, and it was great, actually. Really lovely chat between Henrik Stenson and Todd Hamilton. Todd Hamilton winning here in 2004. Yeah. Todd said when he came into this event, his game wasn't there. He wasn't feeling good. He managed to score around this links. Henrik said, I couldn't do that. I couldn't not feel good and shoot a 63, which I did.
Yeah,
it's incredible.
Again, though, I think that's the cool thing about...
Let's take a little walk,
yeah,
actually, Rich.
I think that's the cool thing about this championship, is that you don't have to feel great about your game. You just have to embrace what's in front of you and be able to adapt your game to the shot at hand.
Yeah.
Whether, you know, because of the winds, because of the rains, because of the, you know, the elements, you have to be fearless in being able to adapt. You have to embrace the fact that, listen, today is going to be absolutely miserable on the golf course. It's going to be rainy, it's going to be wet, it's going to be windy, whatever it is. You have to come out here and not be afraid to make it up on the fly.
Yeah.
And I think that's what happened with Todd, because you just, you know, if you don't have your game, if you don't have your swing, you're not feeling good about it, you've got to make it up if you want to contend. And that's just it. You don't have to feel perfect about it all the time.
He used the hybrid. Do you remember the hybrid?
That's exactly right, around the greens. That
was
brilliant. And that's the cool thing about it. Like, I still remember all of that so vividly.
Yeah.
And when I come out and I see younger players in around the greens in some of these conditions, like, nobody uses a hybrid like you do. I mean, not everybody carries a hybrid, but because that was the club du jour back in the day. Yep. But I just look at what he did, just amazing and actually, so good.
It's a great message to everyone out there to be creative, to think differently about shots,
and be okay with that. You don't have to always do it, but you have to be okay with thinking outside the box and trying something that you may not have tried before, but being okay with it.
Yeah, totally. It really is the best of you here live at the range, and we're being interactive as well. Don't forget, on X, on Twitter, using the hashtag #TheOpenRange, we're receiving a lot of questions. Join the conversation. And Rich, one of them actually came in this morning. I think it was from John. I'm just going to check. He said, how long is the grass on the range? Do you know exactly how long it is?
About that long,
Can
right there.
Kev have a look at the grass, our cameraman?
I have no idea.
We're not
it's
quite,
this long. Let me
this
pick
is from,
it's about that long. I don't know.
From Casey, how long is the grass? Yeah, Casey, sorry, we're not exactly sure. This is from Rob. Thank you, Rob. How has the course changed since Troon last held the Open? It's a little bit longer, isn't it?
It's just a little bit longer. Yeah, I'm blanking on my numbers right now, but I know it's a little bit longer.
195 yards longer.
Is that what it is? Okay.
Yeah, the 6 is now the longest hole in Open history,
isn't it? 623 yards. Last year they had 610, I think, of the 15th last year.
Yeah.
But then again, it's just a number.
Yeah, 7,385 yards is how long it is, and also 101 bunkers, Rich.
I like the numbers we saw yesterday, 56, 56.
Back in 1890. 1890. Oh, thank you for these questions. We are reading them all. There's some brilliant ones. We'll read some of them later on. We'll stay on the range for just a moment. George is out and about. He's been roving around. Where exactly are you right now, George?
Well, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's great to be back here on course, and where else would we be than the Postage Stamp? We've found a pretty good feature group to start our morning off, but look at this. The grandstand is up, the technology's here, it's all happening. This is the place to be. we've stumbled across Open champion Darren Clark. He's playing with Matthew Wallace here. Good morning, Matthew.
Morning, morning.
Great to see you. We've also got Tom McKibben, and there's a third Irishman in this four ball as well, so we'll keep you updated who might just pop onto the tee here as well. But look at this, the shortest hole out of all the Open venues, and it looks simply stunning today. Look at the views, and there he is, Mr. McIlroy is also joining the party today. So much talk about this hole. Here's Darren Clark now, little 50-degree wedge in hand. But there's so much amazing technology on this hole which will not go unnoticed. It's the most effort we've put in to a hole. There's bespoke real-time wind data, there's virtual putting lines, there's the par 3 channel which is available from Thursday to Sunday on RNA TV. There's train tracks in the air, there's absolutely everything. Just been watching Rory working with Brad Faxton on his putting. And here he goes. A solid showing at the Scottish Open last week. This looks all over it. Lovely shot, centre of the green. Spins back. And that is how you play the Postage Stamp. Geez, Darren Clark has put one in there to about 2 or 3 feet, but throughout the day, ladies and gents, we will spend a bit of time up here, see if we can talk to a few players about how to handle this hole. And today it is dead calm, so it's almost a bit of false reality for them. Tom McKibben now. Just a flick of the wrist, and this looks all over it too. Oh, lovely golf shots. It is such an amazing atmosphere. You've got the 7th just here, which is one of my favourite holes. But yeah, this is going to be the heartbeat of the Open this year, no doubt about it. Can't wait to see it. Can't believe how calm it is. Matt Wallace, another good golf shot. These boys are on today. We love that. Michael Bannon's here as well. Rory's swing coach, looking good, feeling good, all smiles. But there we have it. This is the busiest group on the course today. I feel like half the crowd's right here on the tee. So there we have it. 3 Irishmen and Matt Wallace having fun out there today. So we're going to pop around. We're going to find some great feature groups for you today, get a few interviews, but all in all, it's day 2 live at the range we're on. I can feel good about today. I feel it. Let's go.
Oh, thank you, George. Great to get an update from the Postage Stamp, one of the most iconic holes in golf, and great to see Rory and Darren Clark this morning. Weather conditions, it's 16 degrees right now, a wee bit of drizzle and a little bit of wind, 6 to 10 miles per hour, but nothing that will bother the players right now. We'll see how it develops. It can change so quickly in this part of the world, so expect the unexpected. And actually saying that, you can expect the unexpected from these two, Simon Holmes and Wayne Riley. You never know what you're going to get. Good morning, chaps. You're in the comms box.
Good morning, Di. Yeah, day 2 in with Wayne Riley. Wayne, a little bit of drizzle out there, just softening the course a touch. What do you fancy?
Marvellous.
Yeah?
Yeah, just a little bit of a sprinkling out there today. No wind, as they've already said. It's going to be a fantastic day, practice day. It's one of the best days you'll ever want to come and watch if you can't get into the main thing itself. But watching these guys, the way they go about it, it's a blast. Everyone's out there on the range, whipping a few away, getting ready for this unbelievably great championship.
When you were out in a practice round, sort of, you know, a couple of days away from the action, did you drop a lot of balls down? Did you want to have a match with someone? Did you want to make it competitive, just play one ball? How did you manage your practice to get the most sort of feel for the golf course?
Well, I was always a player that went out with guys who liked to have a little punt on the golf course. So we would go out there and play for, you know, 2 or 3 quid. maybe a Kit Kat or something like that, and we'd go out and we'd play. And then after you'd finished the hole out, I'd just putt to different spots, chip to different spots, usually the place that I wanted to miss if I missed. So that's the way I went about it. So it's Colin Morikawa, the Open champion of Royal St George's a couple of years back. Gee, he won very well. He got up and down, had a ball washes on the back nine. That Sunday, I was out there with him. He was a deserved champion. Actually, on 10, Sunday was one of the best up and downs. He was over the back of the green on 10 right, and he was down in this deep stuff, and I'm down there, I'm doing my comms job, and I was like, this is just impossible. Hit it out to about 8 feet and hold it, and just one. He would remember it. I certainly remember it. That's why I'm speaking of it, and yeah, he's a good chance this week, a great chance this week.
You think Royal St George's was a lot of driving. Driving was crucial at Royal St George's. There's a lot of players, I think, you can see his stats there from what he's done this year. He's been in everything. He's a major part of everything that's happened this year. Masters, he was great, and PGA was right up there as well. So, if you think about how he played, he took driver nearly everywhere at Royal St George's. Almost, took a lot of risk. A lot of players play back, be too respectful of the bunkers. You have to blend that, don't you? How would you be thinking of the first, 7 tee shots around here? Not the par 3, but the 7 tee shots on the front 9. You're taking on a lot of risk. You're hitting a lot of irons. How are you going to get yourself to the right score after those first 7?
Well, just keep it on the fairway. It's one of those. He's not a long hitter, but the Open Championships, it doesn't matter really where you go on the rota of an Open Championship. It doesn't suit one style of player. If you're a big hitter, a long hitter, like a Rory McIlroy, even though he has prevailed at Hoylake a few years back, if as long as you're straight. Look, you can prevail. You look at a Max Homer, someone who plays like that, and you look at someone like a Rory who hits it so very far. It won't be a situation for a Rory McIlroy. He won't hit a lot of drivers. So if you can keep it in play, you can hit it crisply off the fairways, and you get it on these greens that'll run at about 11.5 on the stimp meter. You're in for a great week. I just hope that the weather doesn't stay like this. I don't want it to be benign like it was at Renaissance for the Scottish Open last week, where Bob McIntyre prevailed. I don't want it to be like that. I want it to be tough. I want these guys to see the wind. I want it out of the left on the long 10th, 11th hole, 11th hole up against the wall. I want to see these guys have to maneuver the golf ball around the golf course, work it on it, work it against it, high, low, and conjure up golf shots. But whether we see that, I don't know. If we're going to see a week where there is not a lot of wind, they're going to go deep. But I sort of see a golf course with a little bit of wind. I think it's a 12 under week. I don't know where you see it. I think it's around there.
Yeah, it's the wind, isn't it? And I think what Stenson did was exceptional and probably not going to be repeated. He was just kind of pushed along in a match play with Mickelson, who's such a gambler. Mickelson took so many risks, played amazing. So let's have a look and see what Morikawa was doing. He was talking to one of his manufacturers, definitely about a long iron. Were you someone who always had a driving iron in for these conditions?
One iron. Back in the day, we had the old butter knife. We had the one iron out there, and I can't believe that not many guys do these days. They have 2 irons, but they're cranked up a little bit. They're de-lofted, and they go forever. You have to have one here. A lot of players won't, but I feel as though a long iron, a driving iron around here is the way forward. Look, he's aiming left. This will just be a little peeler from left to right, you would think.
Baby fade.
Yeah.
Got some great technology on the driving range now. Really brings this part of the golf course to life. Top tracer technology. This is a new addition. The down the line ball follow, and you can see, look at that little curve at the top. You'd buy one of those, Wayne Riley.
That was like a ribbon, wasn't it? It was just a little peeler, and then all of a sudden it's tried to come back the other way.
And that's his shot, very one-dimensional. But he puts a lot of balls in play off the tee. He feels like the putting is the area which has got the most variation for him. So let's have a look.
This will be the same.
Yeah, this is carbon copy. Just looking for one shot here.
A little more leak, but that's okay. That's the right edge of the fairway. Any fairway, that's the right edge of it.
on the tee. She's staring this one down, and for good reason. Look at this. Just delightfully done. She's on top of the world. Going directly at the hole. Only what? Go on. Oh, get in there.
There's something about the AIG Women's Open.
Oh, my goodness.
There's no way I should be here. I should be dead or in prison. I mean, how else would you gauge this? And a guy comes off of a cotton farm, you know, to become one of golf greats? Are you kidding me?
He hit the flagstick, and the crowd erupts.
He just stormed onto the scene.
He's a magician.
He's got it. I never had any dreams about going on tour. I didn't know anything about it.
His story's amazing. His journey's amazing.
What a great shot.
We were poor. We needed money to buy food.
Rufino, a 28-year-old,
Didn't belong. I knew I didn't belong. It was unbelievable.
and he put up with a lot.
That past is so painful to him.
I would like to forget it, to tell you the truth.
Our culture has a short memory. I think it's time for us to be reintroduced to the Dorino.
I'm playing for my life out here, you know?
It is the American dream.
Why, oh, why?
He hustled the world.
RNA, amazing custodian of the game, looking forwards and also caring very much for where we came from. Huge innovations, technological innovations. This is top tracer technology, giving you a really clear picture of all of the shots, including the data that the players look for. There's a massive monitor to the left which they look at. So 167 ball speed there, just as an indication. Probably 173 ball speed is PGA Tour average, so Morikawa just cruising through the paces here. Amazing swing, Wayne.
Yeah, he sets it very nicely at the top. No cross, no layoff. That one was a little longer than he usually swings it. That was a little bit of a pull, didn't get the leak from left to right.
Yeah,
no issue. I mean,
just interesting wrist positions, aren't they now? You know, sort of where power has become such an incredibly important part of the game. Everyone trying to sort of maximize that, the speed that they can possibly get. You know, guys trying to kind of almost in a sense like close the face earlier in the swing so they can go harder with the body. You know, in the days where we were out there, the face kind of held a little open and then you'd work the face through the ball. You felt the club face a lot more, I think, back then than we see now.
Yeah, they hold it open. That's the trampoline effect with the driver now. Every driver seems to come off a lot faster than when we were back out there. But, you know, this guy right here, he's in my one of the top 10 favourites for this week. That's a pull. That's a flat pull. That's in the rough on any hole out here on the at Royal Troon. Who's your favourite?
Oh, I'm thinking.
No one's discussed.
No.
Who is your favourite this week? And mine is going to be a little strange.
Is
well,
it?
It's not strange, but it's. Go on.
Yeah, I think that, you know, Scotty Scheffler for me is such an amazing strategic golfer.
That's more like it right there.
Right? Yeah. I think, yeah, and I think his caddy as well. He is like, and I think what I like about him is not that everyone hits a few bad shots, but Scotty Scheffler for me, what I notice with his game, if you're looking at it, especially under pressure, is how many good shots he hits. He'll hit the 5-iron to 8 feet and make the putt. It's much more a case of at that level, you're going to hit some mistakes, but how many amazing shots, scoring shots. He hits more scoring shots for me than any of the other guys in the field. And I think around here, if you watch what Stenson did, that's what he did.
So is he your pick?
He's going to be my pick.
He's your pick. Okay. Okay.
Now I'm coming back to you now.
All right.
What do you got for me?
I really like Tommy Fleetwood round here.
Oh, the low ball flight.
I like Tommy Fleetwood this week. He hasn't won on the PGA Tour yet. I just think this golf course and the way he is trending, I think Tommy Fleetwood is a wonderful chance this week. Yeah.
I would love that to be true, I have to say.
We all
Huge Tommy Fleetwood fan.
Usually it's Beamer saying that sort of thing with Tommy Fleetwood. I think that something going on there.
They're very close. Yeah. Here we go. So let's have a look. That left-hand grip, that really, really long thumb.
Weak, isn't it, the left hand?
Yeah. And then that wrist position as he starts down really drops into that kind of bowed lead wrist. Squares the face, and it's all about getting the path to be more left than the face. Let's have a look as he gets his hands on there. Yeah, crucial. If you're playing in a bit of drizzle, you do not want water on these modern club faces, Wayne Riley.
No, it's just it's a strange grip, let's face it. I mean, it's weak. It's but it works for him. It sets him in the right position, thus the fade. When we say weak, we mean, as we were speaking yesterday, Simon, it's not a three-knuckler that's the modern-day grip. When you look down and as a right-hander, you look at your left hand and you can see three knuckles. That's what you want to really see. Two is weak by modern-day standards, and I'm surprised if he could see one. I mean, but that was very much like Jordan Spieth. When he first came out, he couldn't see any knuckles. He was so very weak.
Yeah. And
interlocking grip. It looked like, you know, looked like a bunch of bananas he was sort of grabbing the club with. But look at that. It's a long, as you say, long thumb, a strong right-hand grip, and weak left. It's unorthodox, that grip. But there you have it. I mean, there's
it's interesting
many ways to do it.
There was such a culture around getting such a perfect grip. Like, if you get a chance to watch Scotty Scheffler, and you will this week, I mean, he takes 4, 5, 6, 7 seconds to get his left hand on the club. He's really so precise with that. Looks super neutral. And I mean, Seve, Fowler, Norman, all of those great players had amazing grips. It was almost like that was the measure. If you didn't have a good grip, you couldn't be a good player. Now that's not true. Spieth particularly, Morikawa in particular. I mean, Bryson's got a really rigid grip right up through his palm. It's changed a lot.
Yeah, and I really like this thing that Scotty Scheffler's working with, is one of those plastic grips that sets your hands in the right spot. Now, that is new technology. When I was a child and I was an apprentice professional golfer back in Sydney, I started at 14 years of age selling Mars bars and Diet Cokes in the pro shop and cleaning members' golf clubs. I had one of those. My boss, Ian Brander, back in Australia, he gave me one of those to set your hands on a moulded grip. And if you can get one of those, which obviously you can, Scotty Scheffler's got one, do it, because and let your kids use it to show how they should grip the club.
So, yeah, modern games changed a lot. So the equipment, such a crucial part. Would not be enjoying that flight. But he wasn't playing like that back when he won his Open Championship at Royal St George's. And let's take a closer look at those amazing moments.
You want to have all aspects of your game, especially on a Sunday in a major championship. You know, I'm ready to go out and make birdies, ready to go and contend for the Open Championship. I knew that momentum was kind of shifting my way, and you just know that if you're able to keep putting pressure on these guys, hitting quality golf shots, that it's going to be very hard to catch. They're going to have to do something very special. From that point, you know, you want to just keep your foot on the pedal and just keep making more birdies. Walking down 18, it's so surreal. You know, you're trying to take in as much as you can, and that's the first time I really just walked and looked around, and you could see the fans just surrounding the entire 18th green, and it's one of the coolest walks in golf for sure. Champion Golfer of the Year. You hear it almost every time you tee it up now, and you get chills.
He gave us chills. We couldn't believe it. His performance in Harding Park was amazing, exceptional. but that performance there, Wayne Riley, you were right there.
Yeah, right up there. I mean, it was a great win, you know, to win the Open Championship. We don't know what it's like to win the Open Championship. We only dreamt of it. You know, and you can dream, but it wasn't to eventuate for us. But, I mean, for him, it did. It's a reality. And whoever wins the Open Championship, it's something very special, something to go with you when you leave this place. And look, I mean, he's an Open champion. He's had the claret jug for a year in his pad, and full credit.
Just a little bit of drizzle cruising down. Morikawa, he'll need the precision with his tee shots if he's going to repeat. It'll be interesting to see. So the man in his hood with the hoodie up and his back to us works for Colin Morikawa's manufacturer. So they are really having, this is like a 30-minute chat now. We've talked a little bit about the shafts. They've talked a little bit about, I'd say, the launch, maybe the interaction. Wayne, it's a lot different turf, isn't it? Or links turf than the US where the ball sits up. Ball sits down on the ground here. That's an adjustment.
Yeah, it is. I mean, but it's a great adjustment. You come here and it doesn't take you very long. The ball sits very tightly and cleanly, and you can sort of pick it off the top if you like, and you can take a divot, and it makes a different sound. It's more of a thud. It's almost like you're dropping a ball from 2 inches above a snooker table. It's got that drummy sound, and it's an incredible sound. It's the best turf you will ever play off in your life. It is just... But if you're a bit of a gouger, a 20 handicapper, you might look at it and go, "Oh, gee, this is a bit tight. You know, I could fat this or thin it." But the thing is, for a professional golfer, you can spin it, you can work it, you can show the golf ball all of the grooves, and it's the best turf by a long shot.
Well, there you go. The manufacturer is heading back to the huge support trucks that are behind the driving range, full of all sorts of toys. Now, Morikawa. It's really that change of direction. You can see there's a really strong tendency.
What was that?
That's
a low shank.
Yeah, I don't think that's quite exactly what he's looking for.
Is that swing longer, Simon? You're the coach, you're the
well,
guru.
You know what? I think that, for me, it's almost like he's leaning into this. So the leaning part where he's kind of like pushing forward onto it, it's like he's trying to hit it low. He needs to open up in his swing. So maybe there's some magic on that phone.
Working on something.
So watching Morikawa just trying to maybe work a little bit at the ball flights, trying to change the launch.
That's past parallel.
Yeah,
he's never passed parallel.
No, I agree with you, and that's an iron. So Morikawa smile on his face, but not, I would say, an unconvincing session. Anyway, let's head back and see what we've got with Di Stewart.
Yeah.
I'll bring that one up.
Oh, thanks, Simon. We're just talking about the rugby, actually, and New Zealand beating England, Ryan Fox, which we're not happy about, but you are.
I am, yep. I watched the game on Saturday morning. Thankfully, the tee times were quite late last week and got to watch it. And we're probably a little scrappy, but we tend to be early on in a season anyway. And you're very happy to get the win. I think 30 years unbeaten at Eden Park, which is very nice.
Well, everybody's beating
an awful
England
stat
these
for
days,
English
aren't they?
fans.
Or is that too soon?
Thanks, Rich.
Yeah.
Yes, it's not going well, really, for English sport right now. But we'll move on swiftly. We nearly did it in the football, but Spain won. Did you watch the football?
I did watch the football, yeah. Spain, unfortunately, with a better team, weren't they?
We're all still recovering. It's going to take a long time. Listen, your golf, you're at the Scottish Open. Beamer was there. A bit of links practice ahead of this. What is this, your 8th Open Championship?
Yeah, 8th Open. It's always a pleasure to play one of these, and I love links golf. Last week probably wasn't that nice to me, but yeah, I've always enjoyed coming and playing the Open, Scottish Open on links turf, and kind of feel comfortable in the style of golf. You've got to be a bit creative. I grew up in the wind in New Zealand and don't mind trying to hit the ball low and kind of move it into the wind a little bit, and yeah, it's just a fun way to play golf. And I've heard great things about the golf course. I'm going out to see it in about an hour for the first time, so I'm looking forward to that and seeing what the brutish back nine's like.
Oh, yes.
So, winner of the Irish Open a few years back now. When the weather changes like it's predicted to do, how hard is it or easy is it for you to just kind of come out here and make all the adjustments on the fly that are needed?
I kind of like it when it's hard like that. At the moment, I've probably been fighting my golf swing a little bit, so when it gets hard, I almost find it easier in that respect. You just go and try to hit a shot. You know, it doesn't become golf swing. It just becomes, okay, well, what shot do I have to kind of hit? It doesn't have to be perfect, even if it's a low hook into the wind or whatever. Just get it down there and get it on the green and try to make your pars. And if it's like that this week, I'm quite looking forward to it.
Yeah, I would have. I mean, because again, once you start looking for swings out, you're not playing swings out here, you're playing shots, and you have to be able to make it up on the fly like that, because the weather wasn't perfect when you won in Ireland. I remember that vividly.
I didn't quite win. I lost in the playoff there.
Did you lose?
Yeah,
Russell Knox
see,
you know what?
We're just giving you the trophy.
Yeah, I was letting him run that for the first time. I
see, I'm getting to that age where, listen,
He's
you're
only
a
been
winner in
working
my
for the
book,
last 5,000 weeks constantly. But you did win. You did win at Wentworth, the BMW PGA Championship, beating, what was it, Tyrrell Hatton, Aaron Rai by a shot?
Yeah.
That was a great victory.
Yeah, I'm still kind of trying to work out what happened there. I mean, you know, Wentworth traditionally hasn't been a golf course that's treated me overly well. I think I'd had maybe 1/20th there in about 8 attempts prior to that. So, yeah, look, it was just one of those weeks where everything kind of clicked, and I think I had the best 9 holes of golf I could ever play in my career. That back 9 shot 6 under, and if that is the case, I'm not going to complain. You know, it's such an iconic tournament, and to have my name on the trophy and get to go back there this year as defending champion is amazing. So, yeah, it's still a bit surreal, and
Right, it's just down the road from me. I'm going to come and watch. But I mean, he's got
you
the game.
Won the Dunhill links, though.
Yeah, I did win. Yeah.
See,
so
I'm not completely, away with the fairies, as you guys like to say. Just mostly.
Oh, Rich, you're brilliant. You are brilliant. But he's got the game for this kind of. I mean, so you've never played this course before.
No.
This is your first time at Troon, isn't it? You didn't play in 2016.
No, it's I've played every one since 15 bar Troon. So it's nice to get this one, and obviously watched the duel that Mickelson and Stenson had. I mean, that was probably the most incredible Sunday of golf that I can remember watching. And
we spoke to actually Henrik yesterday, and he said obviously Jack Nicklaus sent him a letter afterwards, and he's got it framed. I mean, to receive a letter from Jack,
that doesn't really get any better as a golfer, does it? I mean, It was obviously, they had some pretty good weather to shoot those scores at times, and I don't think we're going to quite see that score this week with the forecast, but I remember watching it and thinking it's such an awesome golf course, and I'm looking forward to getting out there in an hour and seeing it for the first time.
Rich, what's your top tip for playing this golf course to Ryan?
Like every other links course, just keep it out of the wind, keep it out of the bunkers, and try and keep it out of the rough and keep it simple.
And how brutal is that back 9?
It's not fun.
So Ryan, you're not really going to have much fun today on the back 9.
Well, yeah, but
that's on a Tuesday.
But that's kind of links golf anyway. I mean, it's the same at St Andrews. You go and play St Andrews and get a nasty wind on one of the 9s there, and it can play very, very different. And that's the old style of out and back in, and 1 9 plays into the wind, 1 9 plays downwind, and you kind of try to shoot a score on 1 9 and hang on for dear life on the other. And this is what it is this week. And as I said, I'm looking forward to seeing it. Hopefully we don't get beaten up too bad this week with the weather, but if that's the case, it's kind of fun when I think the crowd likes it, the people on TV like it when we get beaten up and are struggling to make pars, and it might be one of those weeks this week.
It might be.
I feel a bit beaten up after the comments about beating us in rugby, and England losing at the football. Ryan, you've been brilliant. We can't wait to see you out on the course this week. Thanks for your time. Thanks. And good to see you. Really good to see you.
Everybody.
Cheers.
Thanks, Rich. Great stuff. We are going to take a really short break. Rich and I are going to get our third. No, you're having tea, aren't you?
I'm having tea.
And I'll have my third coffee of the day. We will see you in a couple of minutes' time.
There's no way I should be here. I should be dead or in prison. I mean, how else would you gauge this? And a guy comes off of a cotton farm, to become one of golf greats? Are you kidding me?
He hit the flagstick, and the crowd erupts.
He just stormed onto the scene.
He's a magician.
He's got it. I never had any dreams about going on tour. I didn't know anything about it.
His story's amazing. His journey's amazing.
What a great shot.
We were poor. We needed money to buy food.
Profino, a 28-year-old Dodd-Berry.
It didn't belong. I knew it didn't belong. It was unbelievable.
And he put up with a lot.
That past is so painful to him.
I would like to forget it, to tell you the truth.
Our culture has a short memory, and I think it's time for us to be reintroduced to the Dreamer.
I'm playing for my life out here, you know?
It is the American dream.
Why, oh, why?
He hustled the world.
Where do you see yourself in 10 years? In 10 years, I see myself making partner at this firm has been sold. What? To who? Some multinational outfit in
Dubai, where it's 7 a.m. and the temperature is very warm.
Welcome, Viv. This is Ben. Anything you need to know, he's your
lawfully wedded husband in good times and in
total chaos. Viv, what time are we expecting twins?
Life is rarely a straight line. Wherever it takes you, HSBC can help.
Yeah, we are live at the range, and loads of innovations for you, give you sort of a better insight into the work area of these big major championships where the preparation takes place. Great to hear from Ryan Fox. Now, Xander Schauffele, fancy his chances around a golf course like this?
Absolutely, yes. A PGA champion, won at Valhalla in great style. Yeah, he hits it quite flat off the tee. Yeah, another one in that top 10 of mine, along with Morikawa, to lift the claret jug this week. He's got the credentials. He's fresh off a major win. Yep, good. A great opportunity this week for him to win the Open Championship. He's a serious contender.
Yeah, and Olympic gold medalist as well. That's coming up soon. So,
are you a big fan of the Olympics?
I love the Olympics. I have always probably thought of the Olympics as sort of like, you know, track and field and everything. I think golf has got a long way to sort of find its...
I'm with you. We have four Olympics every year, and they are called the majors, such as this.
Yeah, but I think the Olympics is, you know, an incredible scene, but it does. I don't identify golf in it yet, but I could be old-fashioned, and in 10 years' time, that could be the way it goes. So let's have a look at Xander Schauffele. Very precise, methodical, superb putter, amazing putts that he played. I mean, winning. Bryson putted in. I mean, just an incredible series of shots for Schauffele to pick up his first victory at Valhalla. Compact, powerful, good thinker around the golf course, I would suggest, Wayne.
Yes, just a fantastic golfer all round. As we say, very methodical, goes about his business in a regimental way, and
yeah, very structured. Have you seen his putting routine? His putting routine takes him about 5 minutes to set up. There's a line, there's a mirror, there's tees going in, there's all sorts of intervals which are measured. It's like very systematic. But I mean, he's an amazing putter from, let's say, like that 12-foot and in. You know, he's very good at those.
No stone is left unturned with Xander Schauffele. You look at that putt on the last at Valhalla. You know, what was it, 6 or 7 feet?
Yeah.
Straight in. I was ready to walk back for a playoff.
Yeah.
I was standing right there, straight in. She went, okay, it caught the side door, but in it went for his first major win. It was to beat Bryson, yeah. And then Bryson goes on to win the next one at Pinehurst.
Yeah, Bryson was amazing. That up and down on the last hole at that 72nd hole. So, in good spirits.
Always a bit of banter on the range.
Yeah, the range
Sunday there won't be.
Sunday there
The
is
evil
nothing.
eye comes out. I'm
Yeah.
going to have you today.
Okay, so Xander Schauffele, let's take a closer look. Playing off a very neutral, I'd say very neutral everything.
Good grip.
Yeah.
I'd say that's the 3-knuckler, as
Yeah.
I've keep on going on about.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everything's right. I mean, it's just correct.
It's interesting, isn't it? Do you think a shorter stature player like him or a Scotty Scheffler stature player, who's got the advantage? Which body type is the easiest to become a consistent golfer? Rory's shorter, Scheffler's much taller. What do you
I always
see?
thought Watson. I always thought Watson, a shorter stature sort of guy, lower to the ground was the way forward, but not anymore. I mean, you look at the guys, the taller guys, the Scotty, and these guys are so very, very good. I mean, you look at guys that are seriously tall, like a Moronk. I mean, you know, he sends it, and very tall. And back in the day, you know, the taller guys weren't great putters. That's changed now.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at an Oberg, you know,
Yeah.
everything is right. I mean, how fast he swings it. He's got the Tom Watson rhythm, Oberg, and he stands over the ball when he's putting, and he looks correct, and in they go. So I don't think there is if you're a very tall guy now, and you think, well, back in the day they said taller guys. So you look at Weiskopf, you look at an Andy North, two-time US Open champion. You know, look, he's got the hand there. Look, that is a really good grip. Everyone, look at it, boys and girls.
Yeah.
If you want to emulate a grip, look at that. That's really good. It's so very strong and.
Yeah, it's a very precise swing. I think, you know, I think amateurs have the sort of idea that I've got to move all the way off to the right and then all the way back to the left and get through it. I mean, sort of your swing kind of takes place inside of a shoebox. It's that kind of range from right to left. Schauffele, for me, his swing takes place in sort of a matchbox. It's very, very tight. It's just a little bit of shifting pressure to the right and then a rotation through to the left. It's very stacked up, isn't it? Very centered.
A friend of mine has been backing him for top 10s for the last year, Xander, and he's doing very well indeed. He's just he churns it out.
So just that little bit of takeaway work. It'd be interesting to see. Can Xander find the magic? Let's get out onto the golf course and see what George Harper has got for us.
Right, here we are. We're out in the elements. We're on the 5th green. You can see the beautiful ocean. We can see the island of Arran. And we've got a great group here. Scotty Scheffler, Sam Burns, Tom Kim, and young English amateur Matthew Dodd-Berry has found his way into this group. So it's fantastic. We talked earlier in the broadcast, they've got a new tee block which has gone out to the right. So this hole is 220 yards and it's going to be downwind most of the week. So distance isn't too much of an issue. It's just whether or not they can hold the green. You can see all the practice holes they're chucking out here. So many options. And if the pin's at the front, it's going to be so difficult to get near it with the wind coming from behind. But the world number 1 is here. Scotty Scheffler, he's had his hoodie up, trying to stay out of the rain. Look at the views behind that. What a beautiful image. This is what the Open Championship's all about. All of a sudden, you know, yesterday was a beautiful day, and now we're getting exposed to the elements a little bit more. But these pot bunkers, if you also come here, you can see there's a lot of moisture in these pot bunkers, which makes the sand so heavy and clunky. So they're really going to have to give it a huge thud to pop it out of those bunkers. And here's the man of the moment, Matthew Dodd-Berry. Got here in final qualifying. Did really well at the Amateur Championship not long ago as well. So he's taken that run of form to make sure he is here at the big dance. So how exciting is that? You go from playing the Amateur Championship up in Ballyliffin and the northwest of Ireland to now playing with the world number 1. Once he's had a putt, we might go try and see how he's looking. And here's Scotty working in these deep bunkers here. This will be a common spot for some of these guys. Ooh, it's cold. So much sand sticking to the golf ball, if you can see that there. Listen to the impact. Wow. That layer of moisture on top of the sand is so difficult to gauge compared to when it's dry. These guys can do anything with the golf ball when it's dry and consistent. But Simon, I think once we've done here, we might try and have a chat to Matthew Dodd-Berry, and we'll be right back with you guys. So we'll try and stay warm out here.
Oh, great stuff. Yes, a perfect insight. You know, that's one of the things. So you could see what the guys were doing there, putting some pin markers, hole markers around there, where they're predicting the likely sites away and then trying to find the place to leave it. Interesting stuff.
Yeah, it's great. You just put it in the positions and you'd have a look at the first thing they do is have a look at the pin positions of last year, because they won't change that much. They always seem to put them in the same spots, and yeah, shove the little white discs and putt to them. And
yeah, the preparation, you know, this is Tuesday. Thursday, the gun starts, and you've got to be ready. Fascinating view, isn't it? What goes on to become a major champion.
There's no way I should be here. I should be dead or in prison. I mean, how else would you gauge this? And a guy comes off of a cotton farm, you know, to become one of golf greats? Are you kidding me?
He hit the flagstick, and the crowd erupts.
He just stormed onto the scene.
And he has put it in again.
He's a magician.
He's got it.
I never had any dreams about going on tour. I didn't know anything about it.
His story's amazing. His journey's amazing.
What a great shot.
We were poor. We needed money to buy food.
Steve Rufino, a 28-year-old drug broker.
Didn't belong. I knew it didn't belong.
It was unbelievable.
And he put up with a lot.
That past is so painful to him.
I would like to forget it, to tell you the truth.
Our culture has a short memory, and I think it's time for us to be reintroduced to the Dramino.
I'm playing for my life out here, you know?
It is the American dream.
Why, oh, why?
He hustled the world.
Where do you see yourself in 10 years? In 10 years, I see myself making partner at this firm has been sold. What? To who? Some multinational outlet in
Dubai, where it's 7 a.m. and the temperature is very warm.
Welcome, Viv. This is Ben. Anything you need to know, he's your
lawfully wedded husband in good times and in
total chaos. Viv, what time are we expecting twins?
Life is rarely a straight line. Wherever it takes you, HSBC can help.
Overhead view, that's where the spectators are sitting, watching the action here on Tuesday morning, live at the range. I'm with Wayne Riley. Wayne, we've had great insight into being out on the golf course there. The amount of preparation, that's very, very interesting. Don't often get to see that. All those bunker shots Scotty Scheffler was hitting, just trying to get the pace of it. Does the rain add on a little more difficulty, do you think?
No, the rain, they won't have an issue with the rain. It's just the wind. You can see the flag there at the postage stamp. It's just fluttering away there. As long as wind and rain, that becomes an issue. I stood on that tee the other day. I was here doing a drone shoot, and I'm sure you'll see the drone footage this week. It's pretty nice. And I stood on that tee, and my producer, Josh, he said, oh, I'll hit a shot. So I hit a shot, and I shanked it straight over there to the right-hand side. You can see the 7th fairway, right in the middle of the 7th fairway. It was the purest pipe you have ever seen in your life.
Did you get up and down from there?
A proper shank. And now the next one I hit to 20 feet, but the first one was a proper shank.
Well,
Richard Boxall's just walked into the box here.
Great
You're not going to hear
story.
him yet, but
great story.
you will.
from
Something to look forward to, Richard.
Oh, Louis Oosthuizen,
Open champion
golfer
at St Andrews.
At St Andrews of all the places.
Did he win it by 7 or did he win by 8?
Now have a look at this. If you were looking at a rhythm.
Yeah. I love the legs, Simon. You're the coach, you're the guru, you're a great coach, but I love the way he keeps his bottom half so still and just turns around the bottom half. I don't know whether that has anything to do with the back issues that he's suffered.
Yeah.
But if you just watched his leg action, you just take a photo of it, take a video of this and just try to emulate it, because the bottom half works better than anyone I've ever seen on the planet.
Yeah, have a look at this. Is the rhythm you want.
I had the pleasure of playing with him.
Effortless.
A couple of years ago in a thing I called a round with radar, and he was just. We played at Dood-Berry.
Oh, that's a great spot.
Yeah, we played there, and so very impressive. And what a lovely man, great family man, an Open champion. I still can't believe he never won on the PGA Tour. Well, he did win on the PGA Tour, being an Open champion, but never won on the PGA Tour. That surprises me big stuff.
Yeah. I don't know if he thinks that's got a bent kink in it or bent or something.
Well, he'll fix it. Dominic Griffith there.
Dominic will fix
He'll
it.
sort
Really.
it right out.
Yeah. Here we go. The pace of the swing. Never in a hurry. Tons of power, but nothing in a hurry. And he dominated a field, didn't he? Around St Andrews, dominated it.
And when he won the Open Championship, you know, someone would go and buy themselves a nice motor. He did. He bought a tractor.
He did. He's a farmer.
He bought a
Loves
tractor.
John Deere's. John Deere. Now I think that is Justin Parsons, Irish coach now in America. Just going through a few key parts. So just watch the pace. Look, the backswing always finishes. Watch, boom. It always finishes. I love that.
Why have the South Africans got such great rhythm? You look at a Retief, you look at an Ernie, you look at a Gary Player. All the South African players have wonderful rhythm.
Maybe
Why?
just because
I
you've
don't know.
got to hit it so well. It's windy. It's windy in South Africa.
It's windy where I come from. I didn't have any rhythm.
You're an amazing player, Wayne Riley.
I wouldn't say that.
Now, just watch this. What I think this is a great way, you know, what could you copy from this? Just look how well he completes this backswing. Hands on, soft, and there, every shot comes from the same top of the backswing. And that has to be a huge part of the sequencing. So,
feeling his back there. Did you see that? He's had back issues. Enjoying life is Louis. Kind man.
So Louis Oosthuizen, yeah, gentleman, smiley face. Anyway, let's get back out there and see what George has got for us.
Hello, Simon. How are you two boys in that commentary box? Sitting nice and warm?
Yeah, actually, George, thanks awfully. It's
doing
not too bad.
a hell of a job out there, Georgie.
Coffees and biscuits have just arrived, George. Can you get you anything? Waterproof? We want some
You're
waterproof
warming my
trousers?
cockles just talking about it. An L&P. Oh, radar. You're on fire in there. But look, if Scotty Schauffele, world #1, doesn't heat you up, I don't know what will. We are on the 6th, the longest hole in the Open Championship venues. Absolutely massive. 623 yards. Most of us wouldn't even make the fairway here. But here he is, the chef. Look at these high hands. Bang. Lovely fade. Bunkers are 300 yards, and he's just delightfully got that up the right-hand centre of the fairway. It's great to watch these guys live out here. Wind just off the back, so they are cruising it down there, crunching it. 320, 330, no worries. Oh, there's my alarm going off, guys. That means the New Zealand 4-ball's not far from teeing off, so we'll be rushing back to the first tee after this group. But Tom Kim, great to see him back out here. He's looking confident. He's popping his way around. Bang. Most of them are just playing little baby fades around here this week, so you've seen a lot of that. And here's the man that we're going to have a nice chat to after this, Matthew Dodd-Berry, as we mentioned earlier. Can't believe that he's all of a sudden playing in a somewhat of a feature group like this all of a sudden. Whew. There we go. Lovely shot. Get the confidence running high. But yeah, it's cold, but it's not too bad. This is just perfect links conditions. This is what you expect out here. This is what it's all about. Forged by nature. Sam Burns going for round 2, which means I have to talk a lot more dribble. What's been happening in the commentary box, boys? What's been on the range? Have we seen Tiger yet? I haven't heard words about Tiger so far.
We have not seen Tiger, actually, George. Xander Schauffele is down there, and I would say just the guys warming up, getting ready for the... Yeah, Morikawa. Guys all heading out there. Tom Kim.
Nice.
Just walking past you there,
Nice.
George. No, it's good. We got a lot of action down there. Rory's out on the course. We've seen him with you. Scotty's out there.
Not as good as you hanging around with the cool kids, Georgie.
Yeah, well, Scotty's looking cool with the hoodie, but look, let's chat to this bloke right here, right there. Matthew.
How's it going?
How are you, mate?
Yeah, good. Doing good.
Great to see you, and how cool is this experience? All of a sudden you're playing with the world #1 and a couple of other pretty handy golfers as well.
It's not bad at all, yeah. It's an amazing experience. I mean, the weather's kind of not great, but the company's pretty good, so I won't complain, yeah.
How crazy is it to think that you're at the amateur champion not long ago, getting knocked out in the quarterfinals, to then going through final qualifying and now being on the biggest stage of all?
It was pretty cool. I mean, getting to the quarterfinals got me into final qualifying in the first place. So if it wasn't for that, then I wouldn't be here. But no, it's really cool to be here and just to soak it all in and play with some really good players.
Now, we're wondering, there's all the tee sheets in the players' lounge and there's a computer with who you get grouped with. How did you find yourself playing with the world #1 today?
So I reached out to Sam because he went to LSU, which is my college. Coach just told me to reach out to him and just ask for a practice round. And he just happened to be playing with Scotty, so I got pretty lucky, yeah.
You've got very lucky, and I know you've only played 5 holes, but is there anything you're learning so far? Is there any cool little takeaways? And hopefully by the end of the round you'll have more, but what have you learned so far?
I mean, it's like all links golf. The ball doesn't stop running unless it hits something, so it's a great course, and there's some funny little quirks to it, which I quite enjoy, but yeah, it's a really good course, and I'm looking forward to the week.
Awesome. And what's the goal for this week? I know you've made it, you've qualified now, but there's a silver medal on the line as well.
I just want to take it in my stride and kind of treat it like any other week. That's my goal, kind of just take it one step at a time. And if I do that, then hopefully I'll challenge for that silver medal.
Very nice. All right, well, you go take down the world #1 today and we'll leave you to it. Enjoy, mate. There we go, boys. Good character, great experience. That's what the Open's all about.
Great to hear from George. What an experience for that young man. Let's head back to the driving range with Di Stewart.
Oh, thanks, Simon. We're doing a bit of a sun dance here, trying to get some sun coming, or trying to find something yellow in the sky. Justin Leonard, winner here in 1997. Have you seen it this week? We saw it yesterday, didn't we?
We did. I got in yesterday morning and went out and played 9 holes. Probably the most pleasant day in Scotland I can remember in a very long time. Actually, there was 0 wind. So it was nice. It was a nice, soft introduction back to links golf.
Yeah, good stuff. Great.
Actually, summer was here last week, Wednesday, from like 11:15 to 11:21, I think.
Yeah,
so,
it's over now.
It's over now. But so what you saw yesterday, it's gone.
Yeah,
oh.
good.
Really,
too easy.
It's so great to have you back here. I remember chatting to you 8 years ago, back in 2016. We did a Q&A. Winner here back in 97. I remember after 54 holes, my goodness, you were 5 back, weren't you, going into the last round? It was a final round of 65. Can you produce that this week?
I don't know about that, but it's fun, great memories. Amazing as long as it was ago. I still have some pretty vivid memories of the week and certain times, and you know, I'd love to channel like, you know, Tom Watson, you know, something like that. Played the front nine yesterday, and like, you know, I'm hitting 2 irons off a tees and hitting wedges into a few greens.
Yeah.
It's like, it's fun. I didn't play the back nine. I'll see that today.
Rich, is that an area he needs to play the back nine?
Little
No,
different.
he doesn't. Listen, he's seen it before. He knows
Yeah.
what to expect. He's just fine. At our age, nah, you'll be fine.
That's a great idea. Just play the front nine downwind.
That's exactly
Monday,
right.
Tuesday, Wednesday, build the confidence up a bit.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I wish you luck this week. But just tell us, what is it like coming back here? And, you know, the sort of juices get flowing and the memories are there. I mean, 97, how many years ago is that now? My maths is 27 years.
It's a lifetime ago. It's surreal being back, really. Getting on the first tee yesterday, I got out in the first fairway, and I was so nervous in the first tee I couldn't take a video. But I got out in the fairway and I took a video to show, you know, my family at home, and they're headed over here. They leave this afternoon, so they'll get in tomorrow morning. My wife Amanda's been here to Troon in 04, but my kids have never seen it, so they're going to get to see it and experience it this week. And yeah, so it'll, you know, it's like a golf vacation, if you will. Yeah.
I know things have changed over the last 27 years, but I remember vividly where I was at El Paso Country Club working in the pro shop. And I just remember.
Were you good at selling things, Rich?
Oh, God, no, I was terrible.
Did people buy things from you?
I was abysmal. That's what I mean. I was told to either quit or I was going to get fired. One of the two. And so, but I remember there, every time I looked up, though, you were just pouring it in, end over end. You know, what do you remember about that Sunday and how good it felt? The game all around, but especially with the putter, the last 9 holes, because it was just sheer genius.
It was you know, one of those days when the hole kept jumping in the way. Played really well in the front 9, and I knew I had to. I mean, I was 5 back, but I was only chasing 2 players, so it's not like I had to pass 10 people. I only had to chase 2 players, and so had a really good front 9, and then. Yeah, I mean, I remember, you know, making a nice par putt at 15 and a good birdie putt at 16, and then, you know, 17. And I had an idea where I stood, but I didn't know exactly what was going on. I just kind of wanted to just keep my foot on the gas, and I made it from the back part of the green. And when that putt went in, the hair on the back of my neck stood up. And, you know, just a lot of fun memories and feelings. And, yeah, I certainly made more than my share that Sunday.
Well, I think anybody needs to make their fair share, but I remember all of that vividly, just kind of sitting there going, he's not going to miss ever again.
Oh, I love that. The hole was just in the way. Justin, we're going to take a quick look at a VT, remind ourselves exactly what happened in 1997.
It's special anytime to go over and play in the British Open.
Dealing with the elements so much, the weather is so much more a factor. You have to be creative, you know, hit some shots up in the air and keep it down and do all kinds of different things around the green. I think there's just so many options about it. Choosing the right one's the most difficult part. I kept a close eye on the scoreboard all day long and knew exactly where I stood. I think the main thing that I remember most about the week are the 3 putts that I made at 15 for par, 16 for birdie, and 17 for birdie.
You know, and looking back on it, to see the players who have won not only the British Open, but the tournaments there that have been played at Troon, you know, it's very satisfying to be a part of that group.
Oh, well done, Justin. See you at Royal
awesome.
Birkdale. That is fantastic coverage. And to see your name at the top of the yellow scoreboard, which is so iconic, what does that feel like?
It is. It's everything over here is iconic. I mean, you know, I came over here and qualified in 95 and 96. And 97 was the first year that I was exempt to play in the Open. And I remember getting in on Sunday morning. And because the qualifier back then was always Sunday and Monday.
Yeah.
So trying to fit in 2 practice rounds, and you're kind of exhausted, but you're also excited. So I was able to really prepare, and I said, you know what, I'm going to know this golf course maybe better than anybody other than Colin Montgomery. So I played 4 full practice rounds. In fact, one of the days, I think Monday or Tuesday, I played 18, I came in and ate some lunch, and it was pretty windy. I just went back out and played 4 more holes. So I actually played more than 72 holes in practice. Now, I'm not going to do that this week, but I was so excited because I was able to really get over here and prepare for one golf course, not the qualifier and all those things. So I guess I took good advantage of it.
stuff. And we loved the outfit, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
You looked very dapper back in 97. Just looking at Justin Thomas, another Justin behind us. If Kev, our cameraman, can pan, what do you make of JT's sort of purple aubergine top today?
You know, JT likes to wear rich colors, I've noticed.
Yeah.
And that kind of Cabernet purple, I'd say, looks good on him, and it looks like we got a little cashmere blend working there, which works well in this kind of misty rain. So he's properly attired.
This is just a wonderful description. I think we need to do a fashion piece.
Well, he was on TV too. I mean, he's got the whole package working here.
Actually, it's maybe more of a Merlot.
Oh,
now come to think of it,
blend. Yeah,
yeah,
it's a blend.
Yeah.
It's not heavy.
It looks very smart, and the shoes are very lovely as well. Yeah. Justin, thank you so much for your time. It's so great to go down memory lane. You look marvellous 27 years later, and we wish you well this week.
Thank you. Thanks to both.
Oh, good stuff. Great stuff. Good to see you. Good to see you. Let's get back to comms, and we'll watch this guy stripe a few here on the range. That was fun.
Yes.
That was good.
Yeah, great insight. Now, Wayne, we have to ask you, because Thursday and Friday of that championship, you played with Justin with Justin Leonard.
I did. Myself and Paul.
Did you feel as though you were just played 36, the first 36 with the Open champion?
Oh yeah, the first 2 days he didn't miss. I mean, it was just wonderful to watch. He hit the ball very well. And I was surprised Saturday he let it slip and then came back again on Sunday, which didn't surprise me. But the way he putted and played, yeah, he was a worthy Open champion. He was. It was actually, as a professional golfer, to watch him, I didn't concentrate as much as I should have. I made the cut, but I didn't. As Paul did as well, but Paul Broadhurst. But we didn't. We were just in awe of how the guy putted. It was Jordan Spieth-esque, the way he putted, and he's just a great champion. He's won the Players' Championship. He's a proper player, is Justin Leonard.
Yeah,
and he's a guy that's out of sorts.
Yeah, but you know what? It's funny, isn't it? Like, what's the missing piece in the Spieth game? I mean, the driving looks better to me. The irons may be not as good as they were. I remember meeting him as a young amateur, and I mean, basically, his first 4 or 5 years, he just hit kind of like a low cut, everything. Low cut, low cut, low cut. Amazing. And then his putting from 15 feet and out, never seen anything like it.
No, never. The 15th hole, the putt he holed on the Sunday from the front edge of the par 5 at Royal Birkdale was a putt I will never. I remember calling it on the golf course. I said he does things that other people can't, and luckily for me, calling the shot, he holed it. It was like he was, and then he did it again on 16. Matt Kuchar, I mean, it must have been going, well, what do I... Matt Kuchar played well enough to be an Open champion, and it just wasn't to be, because this guy just crippled him with his putting.
Yeah. It is funny, they call him the Golden Child as his nickname, as it just sort of makes magic when he needs it. So let's have a look at Spieth's action here. Interesting, kind of a left-handed player, sort of more of a pull through the ball than a push through the ball. Grip goes on, fidgety. Really trying to feel as though he kind of gets the club up to the top, leaves it there, and then rotates with his body to get it all the way through. It's interesting to see. So look how trying to get some more open with his chest through the ball.
Another player like Rory McIlroy. Rory McIlroy for the Grand Slam needs the Masters. This guy needs the PGA. People forget that. He's on a Grand Slam run as well. Weak left-hand grip. He strengthened that for a while.
The grip is weird, isn't it? And I always thought, when I would sort of like trying to get him to kind of like move into that right side so that he can then open up. He can get it kind of hanging a little left as well there. So let's have a look at his movements here. Very consistent pattern of shots there. The start line.
Now look at the grip there. Seriously interlocked. I call it a gangly grip.
Yeah, it is interesting. Like if we zoom into his grip there, you don't go like, okay, that is the hands of a champion golfer on the club. Like, that's messy looking, don't you think?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, it's not a great classical grip. It's weak with the right. Strong with the right, weak with the left.
Yeah, that's a little bit. Henrik Stenson, he's also got a kind of like a funny grip. I wonder if that's because they're both left-handed players playing right-handed. It's just like it's a hard thing to get on there. So anyway, great to see Spieth over. He'll be hoping to rekindle a spark, you know, coming back to a place well, not a tournament venue you've won before, but a championship you won before. He needs a spark, doesn't he?
Well, it must be sensational to walk through any Open Championship venue knowing that you have your name on the claret jug. I mean, let's face it, that must be a blast. Former world #1, FedEx champion.
Yeah.
On the Masters, the US Open, the Open. Still a young man, but what a career.
And I think the way he's handled his career has been very charming, hasn't he? He's been a great ambassador for golf.
Yeah.
Because he's handled his successes and
Blue-eyed
failures.
American boy.
But there's a lot to that. You can see what he's done this year. Be gutted about the Masters. He was just all over the place. And then not really firing off at 43rd and 41st in either one of those two. So hoping that the Open, which is maybe a bit more creative. I mean, that's what he says about his putting, you know. He's like, he's always looking for curves, you know. Straight lines are very, very difficult. Everything has a curve. The artist sees it as a curve. The scientist sees it as a straight line. And he's very creative. So interesting to see what he can do this week. Spieth. You've watched him play a lot of competitive golf, Wayne. What strikes you as his, like, where are his hot spots? What's he amazing at?
Well, of late, nothing really. I mean, it's just pretty average stuff. But when he was at his best, in his pomp, I mean, he was incredible. I mean, it was just a good driver of the golf ball, a good iron player, a wonderful chipper, and the putting was a standout. He was so very impressive. I remember being at Eastlake for the FedEx Cup Championship at the end of the year, which is coming up very soon. And I remember him holding a putt on the second hole, par 3 up the hill from the front edge, and I was just like, I mean, a guy who I work with a lot, the great Roger Maltby, an on-course commentator over there in the States, and him and I were so many times out together, and we just used to look at each other and marvel and just shake our heads, and no words needed to be spoken. I mean, it was just, we just looked at each other when he holds something. It was just like, oh yeah, there it goes again. And it was putting. I think it was the best putting exhibition for some 2 or 3 years that we will ever witness. It was something. You know, Ben Crenshaw we look at, and Bob Charles, the New Zealander, Sir Bob Charles, were phenomenal, and Crenshaw was seriously good with the putt. But that guy right there, Jordan Spieth, for a period of time was unbelievable with the putter. And they didn't go in the hole, they went in the centre, and it was seriously incredible. And I watched him when he ran about 15th or 16th as a kid when he won at the when he played at the Byron Nelson. I think it was the winner was Jason Day that year, and he ran like a college kid, and all his college school mates were out there. And
no,
to win
high school. He was a high school
16-year-old.
Yeah,
I mean, you come
he
out
was
and
a
run
high
top
school kid,
20.
and he had to run off. He had to run off to go back to graduation. I remember that.
Yeah.
Byron Nelson.
Yeah,
you were right.
I looked at him, and I remember watching it back where I was watching the TV, and I thought, well, okay, I'll remember this name, Jordan Spieth. You're running 16th in the Byron Nelson. You're 16 years of age. Let's see where you go. And here he is. I mean, he's
well, remember what he did at the John Deere
Hall of Fame career.
Yeah. So he's just looking at our slab. You can see the massive monitor over there, showing the top tracer technology live at the range, and it really is live at the range. The range is come to life through all of the innovations, ball tracer, all of the ball data. Jordan Spieth. Let's have a look. So quite fidgety, quite fiddly. Very different than a Xander Schauffele, which is very regimented. Scotty Scheffler, very regimented. There's a lot more going on here.
Yeah, there are a lot of things that aren't of the norm. I mean, his head sort of tilts back the wrong way. Nicholas used to tilt his head to the right, towards his right foot. And Jordan sort of goes the other way, tilts his head towards the left foot. It isn't something that you would teach anybody, but he does it his own way, and he does it very successfully.
So, Cameron McCormack
Australia boy, yeah, he coached
leaning in. That's his coach. Here we go. So, Spieth just trying to get the club set onto the top there. Tendency maybe that has been across the line in the past. He's trying to set it into like a lower right elbow position to kind of neutralize that. So elbow's a bit more level at the top.
I haven't seen a bad shot yet.
No. And now just really trying to feel it. Instead of leaning onto it or getting stuck and then bending back out of it, he just rotates open so that club face, there's no chance of that toe ever catching up to that heel.
They are big friends. Obviously, I'd say they'll be going out for a practice round today. Justin Thomas and Jordan.
Yeah, what do you think? Tiger takes a day off today?
Who knows with Tiger? He could have been already out there at 5:30 this morning. That's what Tiger does. He sneaks out there when no one suspects he's going to be out there, and out he goes, and he could be done by now. He gets up, you know, like 4 in the morning to go to the gym, gets stretched, and then all of a sudden he finishes his preparation of the championship. He goes back, he goes to the gym, Tiger. The ultimate professional.
Yeah, first tee time registered at 7:10 this morning was Darren Clark, Rory McIlroy, Matt Wallace and Tom McKibben. We saw them out there. Interesting to see what Spieth has got for us here.
7 o'clock this morning. You were just getting home, son.
Yeah, I was here already. Let's see, Spieth.
That's a flush.
Thank you.
Swinging the club very well there. Has he got the confidence this week to prevail? I don't know.
It's interesting. He's not coming with much momentum, has he?
No.
That's difficult, I think.
That's the thing. If you come to a major championship and you haven't got it, you won't find it. In my eye, you have to have it when you come. Even though he played well, was it last week at the John Deere?
Yeah.
Yeah, he played well. So.
Yeah, lots of good shots, but it just feels like. If you look at the stats, that I just think the iron play, which I thought was amazing, isn't as precise as it was at its peak. But although the driving, I think, is much better. So, man, two talented boys there, and Spieth Masters, amazing. The US Open Chambers Bay, that was an extraordinary competition. Dustin Johnson kind of handing it back. Then Birkdale. So Spieth really trying to keep it rotated open, set the club onto a neutral path, kind of like almost pre-setting that impact, then just really rotating open through it, make sure he can deliver that club face, like hips really beating the hands. You want to have the hands and the hips dead heat on each other, because that's when you can double cross it.
Out with the driving iron. I always seem to have these funky shafts in these driving irons. A lot of whip down at the ball where the change of colour is right there.
Yeah, just to get a bit of launch, I think. Just
a whip down at the ball. That's going to be a handy club this week. I said that yesterday in our show, Simon. A driving iron.
Going to be crucial. So we'll leave the range for the moment and we'll head out to see what George is up to.
Hello guys, we've made it back to the first tee, and just when you were thinking one Kiwi was enough, we've got 4 more, maybe even 5 more. This is absolutely fantastic. Ryan Fox, Daniel Hillier and Kazuma Kaboya are on here at the moment. You know, this is at the point where you're just so comfortable, you can get right in the mixer. D Hills.
Way too many Kiwis in one place.
Too many Kiwis. Welcome back. How does it
Thanks,
feel
mate.
to be back at the Open?
It's awesome. Yeah, absolutely love it. Pretty special place. It's the first time seeing it today, so yeah, we'll see how we go. But yeah, looking forward to getting into it.
It's not often you get this many New Zealanders to join you as well. That must be pretty special too.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I've been looking forward to this for a while. I mean, yeah, we're a long way from home when we're out in Europe, so yeah, it's good to see a few more Kiwi faces this week.
How's the form?
It's getting there. Yeah, it's been a bit of a slow start, but no, I had some positive signs last week, so hopefully that can carry over into this week.
All right, and if you look behind Daniel, we've got Foxy here. I know he's been on the broadcast already, but what numbers are we looking at here on the first Foxy? Almost drivable if there's a bit of wind.
Yeah, my first time seeing any bit of the course, so I know guys have hit driver at the green before. It looks like it's probably a 5 or a 6 iron down short of the bunker, or obviously blast one at the green. I don't know if there's quite enough wind today to get there, but might give it a crack in the practice round. We'll see.
Yeah, I think we'd like to see that as well, Foxy. So please do. Yeah, it's actually quite nice and sheltered behind here, so don't be fooled by that. Now keep coming. We've got more New Zealanders here. Michael Hendry.
Georgie, how are you?
Welcome back to the Open
Thank you,
Championship, mate.
Cheers.
How are you feeling?
Oh, it's great to be back. Yeah, no, just stoked to be here after all the stuff I've been through in the last 12 months.
Yeah, well, let's just briefly touch on that for the fans at home that don't know your story. Obviously, you went through a leukemia battle, so could you run us through how the last, I guess, year's been, because it's been a big one?
Yeah, well, so last year I qualified for the Open in Hong Kong on the Asian Tour, and it was all getting ready to go, and 2 weeks later I got diagnosed with leukemia and spent about 4 months in hospital in and out, and a lot of chemo and all that sort of stuff. But the RNA were great, really gracious, and extended my exemption into this year. So really excited to have another crack.
Yeah, must feel amazing to get through that and be here ready to take on the links, mate.
Absolutely.
All right, well, it's bloody good to see you, and we hope you're well. Let's maybe jump off the tee block over here, and we'll go see our final Kiwi, Kazuma Kabori.
Hey, mate.
You get to talk to a bunch of Kiwis for the first time.
Yeah, it's great. I finally feel at home on this side of the world. Kazuma.
How we doing?
Mate, your first ever major championship. How cool is this?
It's my second ever major championship, but that's okay. That's all right.
That's all right.
We all make mistakes.
We all make mistakes. Don't make one on the first here now that you're under pressure.
No.
But, mate, how does it feel to be at the Open?
Yeah, it feels fantastic. Like my first Open championship, and yeah, looking forward to getting things underway.
Yeah, your first Open. That's what I said, wasn't it? I swear that's what I said.
Yeah.
Yeah. But how cool is it to be here with all the mates and all the crowd and all the grandstands? It must feel amazing.
Yeah, it's awesome. We've got a full Kiwi practice round group today, so yeah, it's going to be awesome.
It's all right. We'll let you take on this tee shot, mate. Good luck. Best wishes.
Thanks.
All right, I'm just going to cruise. Let's get on. We're almost in the ocean here, guys. It's not quite good enough weather for that. But look at this. The boys will finally get in the zone here. We'll let them have a crack. But as Ryan Fox said, there are players that have taken on this green in the past. The wind isn't quite high enough. I'm not sure at home you won't be able to feel it, but it is cold, it is fresh, and the further out you get, the more the wind picks up. But oh, there's a great photo. I'm going to go photobomb that. Come on. Wait, one more. One more, come on. Come on, one more. There we go. All right, we're going to go to a short break. We'll get a few photos for the gram. Thanks very much, guys.
Control. It's often out of your reach. Your opponent. A line call. Even the bounce of a ball. Every game is full of unexpected twists and turns. You have the lows, the injuries, being away from home, the pressure. And the incredible highs, the wins, exploring the world. Every day, a new opportunity. Life is rarely a straight line. We can help wherever it takes you.
Very dull now. Oh, it is Tuesday, almost lunchtime, live at the range. And Matthew Southgate at Insimema, great to see you. Matthew, we had to stop you because you're wearing very red trousers. What inspired this fashion choice this morning?
It's just British colours, red, white and blue.
I know, I love them. You look like you might be playing Sunningdale soon.
Yeah, well, I would like to, actually. If anybody can sort a membership out.
Yes. Oh, great stuff. How are you? We spoke to you yesterday. You sleep well?
Yes, good night's sleep, yeah.
And what's planned today?
I'm having 9 holes, back 9 this afternoon. I'm going to know that back 9 inside out.
Oh, well, you need to keep playing it, keep playing it. That's what we just heard from Justin Leonard, the winner in 1997. If there's one thing you do, don't play the front 9, practice the back 9.
Well, there we go.
There you go.
Yeah,
It's definitely harder, isn't it, the back 9?
Yeah, definitely, yeah. Most golf courses are, though, aren't they?
Yeah, absolutely. We talked about the highest score, Incy, on the Postage Stamp on the par 3.
I know the answer to this.
Go on, tell me.
Is it 10?
No.
15, 15,
That's
final
it,
answer.
yes, it's 15
Yeah.
from the German hermit in 1950. So, and we said, Matthew, that he will still be sort of travelling back from back to Germany from that score. Anyway, we're digressing. The trousers are great. You go and practice, and you can be on the show tomorrow as well. He's now a regular. He's a regular. It's 15 on the Postage Stamp. Incy, you have been at this course and you've played it. When did you play it?
Yeah, I played it as an amateur, actually. Funny enough, I bumped into one of the caddies here, Daniel Mulvey. He's caddying for one of the young players this week, but he was one of the original caddies here from back in the day. So when I was an amateur playing in the Helen home, we used to play both golf courses, and I said to him, where are we right now? Because obviously with the grandstands and the whole setup, you can never really quite figure out where everything is. Everything just changes. So apparently this is the other golf course, which I didn't realise.
Yes.
This isn't a range.
Yeah.
They've set this up overlapping different holes. And it's absolutely amazing to be here.
It really is. We're at one of the far ends, and yesterday we spoke to Gonzalo Fernandez Castaño, who's caddying for Luis Maceveo, one of the young Spaniards, and they sort of became a partnership at the beginning of this year. But it's great to have somebody with so much experience.
It's amazing.
A winner on the DP Tour, the DP World Tour many times. Gonzo, I mean, he's been around for decades.
Forever.
It sort of implies he's
Part
really
of
old.
the furniture.
But to come here and to have someone so experienced on your bag. So we'll see how Luis Maceveo does this week. But brilliant storylines coming into the Open. Amateur champions are here, and 12 amateurs in total. But also the RNA Junior Open is taking place down the road, actually, at Kilmarnock Barassi, that is the name of it. So the best boys and girls are flying in and playing 3 days of competition. Today is the second day. But what brilliant experience for those youngsters.
Oh, it's really amazing. And if they can get an opportunity to come down here, I'm sure they'll be here in a heartbeat as well. Any sort of off time, forget practice, just come here, watch some of the best players in the world. It's just going to be absolutely amazing.
Yeah, it will be. We've spoken to former champions. We've been up and down the range. We saw Tiger Woods on the range very early yesterday morning. Not sure where he is today.
Probably hiding, Di.
Yeah, well, he could be. Well, this weather, I mean, it's turned. Yesterday was super sunny. You got here when?
We got here on Monday, so I've come from Evian. Very sunny, very different climate, and so I thought I'd wear something bright today just to brighten the day.
Yeah, well, we're going to actually maybe take a little walk if we can. Gosh, it's gone really, really busy, hasn't it, this range? Tuesday is probably Tuesday, Wednesday, they're possibly the busiest days?
I think so, because everyone's just trying things out. Everyone's practicing. They might be putting a new club in the bag here and there. You know, they're getting their lessons with their coaches. Yeah, they're really getting a feel for what this week could look like. You know, I know Matt Fitzpatrick, he actually plays the golf course on the driving range. So, you know, they open up the yardage book and they envision exactly the shots that they need to pull off, and that's pretty much what they do. But everyone's got their own routines at the start of the week.
Okay, great stuff, Incy. We'll speak in a few minutes and we'll have a little wander, maybe a cup of tea. But let's head back to commentary and join Richard Boxall.
Thank you very much, Di. Live at the range. It's been a year since I've done this. And alongside me, as you can see in that graphic bottom left there, is PGA professional Peter Finch. Peter, it's been a year.
It has.
It's been a year. How you been?
I've been fine, although gazing into your eyes this morning, I realise a year is far too long to spend
too long,
apart.
isn't it? Yeah, and you're a little out of breath. A little slight problem getting here this morning?
So the intensity of this Open Championship certainly ramped up a little bit today. I think everyone, certainly like the practice days in the last few days, have become so much more popular. And I think just the sheer weight of people wanting to get out has been extreme. Yeah, so I had a little bit of a run to get here, but it's not bad. You know, that's the first time I've run in about a year. So
Well, do you know the other strange thing is people say to me, you know, running is such great fun. And I say to my partner, Deb, I said, look at that bloke running. He's not smiling. No, they never smile, do they? It just looks like agony to me.
There was no smile this morning.
No, I should imagine not. Well, he's players here warming up. The trouble is with the Open Championship, if you're exempt for the Open Championship, you do tend to get here sort of Saturday, Sunday time. And then, you know, the week seems, it's not like a normal tour event, Pete, is it? Because, you know, normal tour event, you'd get there Tuesday, possibly play 18 holes. And if you're in the Pro-Am, you wouldn't play on the Tuesday, you'd just practice. And then you'd play the 18 holes with your practice round, and then you're off and running the next day. Here, you start on a Sunday and a Monday.
I was actually pleasantly surprised, really, how many people were here on Sunday. Like, I thought it would have been completely deserted, but like the range was pretty much full.
Was it?
Yeah, and I think it's just the Open, isn't it? I mean, you get to a major champion and major championship, and all of a sudden it kind of dawns on you that, you know, you've got a chance of really joining the very best names in the game. So I think with the atmosphere and the feeling and just the whole vibe around the Open, it's very different than what a lot of these guys play week to week as well.
Yeah, no, most definitely. There's Ricky Fowler there. That's his major championship record so far. Missing the cut at the US Open. He wouldn't be so happy about that. And well, what do you think of his game, Pete? It's sort of, I think it's bubbled down a little bit now.
Well, during the last 12 months, he's had like a little mini resurgence where you thought, all right, he's back, he's going to be kicking on, you know, he's going to become that player that I think we all believe that he can be, but yeah, he's just settled down again a little bit, probably still searching, trying to bed the swing in that he's been working with Butch Harmon. But at the end of the day, we know how talented he is, we know how good he is, but he's there stood on a range literally next to a lot of other really talented golfers, and you know, unless you're playing well, unless you're playing consistently good, like, you're going to get left behind, and that's just what's happened to Ricky really in the last kind of 5 years. So he'll just be there working on his numbers, probably not a massive amount of swing work going on right now, just trying to get comfortable. I mean, you know about kind of tournament golf, professional tournament golf at this level a lot more than me, Boxy. Once you get to this part of the week, are you still searching for something? Are you just trying to get comfortable?
No, I think it's difficult to start searching the week of. I really do. You know, I think you play. When I was playing on the tour, I reckon you played well for maximum 6 weeks on the trot. And in my day, you wanted to make sure, you wanted to hope it was around about June or July time. You know what I mean?
So you could peak for this moment, yeah.
Little overcast today. There was some rain came in this morning when you were hurtling round roundabouts, Pete, trying to get here. That it wasn't anticipated by the R&A Open forecaster.
No, I must admit I've had a look at the forecast pretty frequently over the last 3 days, and it has consistently, without any kind of
deviation changed every single hour. So
yeah, you look at the wind. It's 16 degrees right now, which is quite a hot summer's day up here, and 6 to 10 miles an hour, and pretty cloudy. But they say the weather's going to be unsettled from sort of Thursday onwards, and I think there could be a bit of rain. You get wind and rain on this course, and you get that sort of prevailing wind that plays into off the left on the back nine. It is a brute of a finish, that back nine.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? As a pro golfer, you know, the amount that you check the weather is probably about 50% more than the rest of the population.
Yeah.
Just desperate to understand kind of what you're going to be faced with, and these guys are so at the mercy of what the weather might do this week and the look of that draw. And I think in the Open, it probably makes more of a difference than any other event.
I don't know about you, Peter, but when you forget you being at the golf, and when you're at home and you talk to people and you say to them, it's too bright today, it will rain. You know what I mean? You being outside for your life and all the time, you can tell the weather, can't you? You can just sort of smell it.
You can smell it, you can sense it, absolutely. Although on the west coast of Scotland, it smells always pretty damp, doesn't it, really?
Yes.
That just makes those sunny days, though, all the more special.
When you get a decent day, I was up at the Scottish Open last week, and I was doing feature groups on course, and it was the weather was lovely.
Yeah.
I mean, there wasn't a breath, but it was good to be. Now, soft spikes there. Are you? I'm more always. I just play golf with my lad now, but I much prefer spikes to soft spikes.
I'm more of a soft guy.
Oh, yeah. All trying to pick a little something up on the range here before they go out. But as I was discussing with Peter earlier, you know, I think coming into this week, you've got to already have it.
Yeah. I mean, you can kind of get a vibe of the people who might be struggling when, you know, at Wednesday night at 6 o'clock. If anyone's still out there digging divots, then probably don't stick your money on them.
Beautiful turf to hit off, isn't it, this?
Yeah, and, you know, it's something that you hear so much from these guys because they don't play on this type of turf really, more than 3-4 times a year maximum in tournament golf.
Yeah.
So to actually come here is a real pleasure. It's just the sound and it's just the feeling of it as it kind of compresses down into the club face. It is special on every shot as well, like on short game shots, on iron shots, everything. It's just that slight difference.
Well, Fowler, 3 top 10s out of 12 starts in the Open Championship. I would imagine if you're a bit of a gambler, with him picking up a little bit this season, he might be worth an each-way bet.
Yeah, potentially. I think, I mean, the Open is pretty well renowned for throwing up some random winners, but I think when you're going into a week like this, you're looking at the players who have previously done really well on links courses, who enjoyed the Open Championship, who have the facets of the game, such as, you know, an imaginative short game, things like that. But literally everyone this week is just going to be looking at Scotty, seeing what he does, and just trying to catch up.
Was Brian Harman, was he a surprise winner for you last year?
So I don't want to brag.
Oh, here we go. And come on, Pete, tell me.
We did pick him pre-tournament.
Who's we?
Me and my team.
Really?
Yeah. So did podcasts, crunched the numbers, and Brian Harman netted out.
Is that
really
honestly how you came out with it? He was number crunching.
Yeah. So it was like judging past performances, the season, the amount of wins, kind of stats, and all the rest of it. And Brian Harman netted out really well. The person who's netted out really well this year is Tommy Fleetwood.
Wait for it, everybody. Who is it?
Tommy Fleetwood.
Right. Yes. I'd go for that.
Which is great.
Yeah.
But he's just broke my heart too many times. So.
It's round the corner, though, isn't it, for Tommy Fleetwood?
It is, but I don't know if he's on a roundabout.
Right, I see what you're saying.
I mean? He needs to take
another Maltese.
He needs to take a turn in soon. But no, I mean, I think with people like Ricky, I mean, he's a class player, and if it comes together, you only need 4 good rounds. You need it to come together, and he's perfectly capable of winning this.
Yeah, you need a bit of luck here. Let's look at his ball speed here. What have we got here? 120 miles an hour. Flat carry of 173 yards. Good invention, all these slabs here, aren't they? With all these, you know,
yeah,
Apex,
with all
etc.
The top trace stuff is fantastic, and it's the fact that it's built into the range as well. It just gives the people who are watching on the grandstand behind a bit more of an understanding of, you know, what is going on. Talking about Brian Harman last year, like I was stood behind him hitting, and He hits it good, obviously. He's a tough professional. But it's not anything crazy. But I was just stood there, like, watching him for 5 minutes. And I was like, these balls are landing on top of each other here.
Yeah.
They were literally just flying through the same airspace.
Clustering quite nicely.
Unbelievable.
It's an amazing place to range. I remember I played my first Open in 1980 at Muirfield, where we were last week, and qualified at Gullen. And I remember being on the range, and I really wanted my mummy very badly. And I wouldn't go past a 6-iron. I was scared to hit anything like a 3-iron, because I thought I'd duff it or shank it. And then I heard this incredible thudding of the turf behind me as I'm hitting balls like that, and I turned round, and it was Jack Nicklaus hitting balls.
Amazing.
And I thought, oh my God, you know, I thought this is for men, not boys. I'm 19 years old, for crying out loud. You know, what am I doing here? And the nerves on the first tee. I played with the late Christy O'Connor Jr. and the late John O'Leary. And on the tee, it was they went play well in their deep voices. And I went, yeah, play well. You know, I was so nervous, and I very nearly missed. I just thought, don't have an air shot on the first. It's like Formula One. People want to see a crash, don't they? You know what I mean? They go
in a sick kind of way.
Yeah, they do. But and you know, and you go to this, and you think, I want to see him top it off the first, like I do in the monthly medal.
Want to see that they're human.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are going to be like that. In all fairness, though, Troon, as far as a first tee shot goes, it does offer you a little bit of respite.
Yeah, like, there is. I think, was it Darren Clarke who knocked it out of bounds there?
I think it was Clarke, yeah. But, I mean, the out of bounds is not hugely in play, but at the same time, your eyes are just drawn out.
Yes, exactly. There. Winking at you. Great technology we've got nowadays. There's the top tracer over there on the left. All Ricky Fowler's shots there.
And you've got the longest drives on the right there as well. Liam Nolan, who's an amateur who qualified through at Dundonald. He can give it a good whack. And those are all Fowler.
He's hit a lot, hasn't he?
I mean, how many shots? You're just about to go out and warm up. You're just about to go out and play, should I say. How many shots are you hitting for a warm up?
If you're going out, well, listen, sometimes you go out for a warm up, you just get onto the tee and just, you know, off we go. But if you're in an Open Championship, I would go out there and hit sort of 20 sand irons, 10 6-irons, then a few 3-irons into the driver, back for a few sand irons, back to the tee, and off I go. And to be perfectly honest, Pete, it wasn't that much different when you played the event itself. I mean, let's have a look at this. We've got some new tech coming in, apparently, as I hear in my ear. Here we go. And it didn't fire. Oh, dear, never mind. We'll get it right next time.
I mean, that looks like a new club in the bag for Fowler as well this week. It looks like a driving iron. I think a lot of players are going to be popping one of those in the bag this week. Because especially around the front line, there's a lot of shots where you can.
I remember using the 1-iron. I had a 1-iron in my day when he played around here, and that was a beautiful club to use.
You know, you're actually a really good golfer, aren't you, Boxy? Like, I don't think you get enough credit.
I was all right with the method I had. I was all right. Yeah, I could fly. I played the tour for 17 years.
Yeah. I just see you on the commentary on the course. They always take the mick out. I always think
they do, don't they? They're very
respect.
cruel. Yes, no, it makes me feel very insecure, Pete. It really does. And
I'm going to send a memo around.
Will you?
Yeah, so that driving iron there, it's going to be looking about probably 18 degrees.
Yeah, is it another good? Tristan Lawrence in the background there. He's South African. He's a fine play. He quietly moves along, you know, and picks up a tournament here and then picks up a tournament there. He's a good player. He's a nice lad as well.
Well, he's certainly one of those guys, like you mentioned, you're just trying to peak at certain moments during the season, and he does seem to kind of come in and out of, is either up there winning or he's bang on the cut line, basically.
Yeah. It's not raining now, so the lads won't be. They'll just hit a few more shots and slide out for their range, slide out from the range, I should say, out onto the course. You got the front 9 goes all the way out with the sea on the right-hand side. There's only one hole that comes back, the famous Postage Stamp, the 8th, which you play that one into the breeze is a strong wind. It'll give you nightmares. Well, we'll leave Ricky and let's get into Bryson DeChambeau. This is what he had to say earlier on.
Yeah, first off, it's great to be here. Second off, it's a tough golf course. That back nine has some teeth, and you've got to drive it straight. You've got to control your golf ball. Greens are pretty fair, but driving it straight and controlling that golf ball underneath the wind is going to be super key this week.
Fantastic. If you have questions for Bryson, please raise your hand and we'll get a microphone to you. Bryson, I know that you haven't played the Postage Stamp yet, but I'm sure you've heard about it. I'm sure you've maybe looked into it a little bit. Mm-hmm. What are you feeling, when you come to that hole?
Well, it can be diabolical for sure, and don't know too much about it other than hit the center of the green and I'll be good every day. That's going to be the goal this week.
Great. Number 2 over on.
Hey, Bryson.
Yeah.
A lot of pros talk about wanting to see their ball fly into certain windows after they hit it. I'm just curious why that's so important during a week like this, and like what your tendencies are that you're always on red alert for.
Yeah, I mean, I hit the golf ball really high, so it's always been a bit of a not an issue, but it definitely is helpful in certain situations. But out here in the wind this week, I've got to learn to control, not learn, but just keep the ball under the wind a little bit more, keep it lower flighted. Most people try to see it through windows, and I do too, but not that specific. It's more of if I take it back to a certain distance and go through, it'll come out with a certain launch just based on the loft. And so I'm really focused on accomplishing that task of just swinging the way I want to swing. And the results will speak for themselves, hopefully. So for me, it's going to be about controlling that height through just length of backstroke for me this week. And it's going to be tough. It's always tough. Right to left into the wind, left to right into the wind, and down. It's very diabolical, and just trying to keep it low and underneath the wind is key for me this week.
Mike, 4 in the back here.
Bryson, I'm wondering now with a little bit of hindsight, how maybe your feelings during your 2 major wins were different.
Well, there's a crowd in 2024, and that was fun. I think they were just different in their own right. 2020 was a bit of showing that I could do it, and obviously not winning a major, it's difficult to get that first win, first major championship win. But then the second one was more of for me personally, it was more cementing my own comfort levels of I know I can do it again and again, and I can give myself more runs at numerous majors. And obviously I've played well in a lot of the majors this year, but I pulled it all together, for the U.S. Open. And so just giving myself that comfort and knowing that I can do it pretty much with any type of game I have is really cool.
Number 3 in the front here, please.
Hi, Bryson. It's pretty clear from the article in Golf Week that your relationship with Mike Shire's sort of hit a bit of an impasse. Is that relationship, is it irretrievable now, or is it distracting as well, all that stuff going on?
Well, look, it's an unfortunate situation. I've loved that man for all of my life, and it's a private matter that went public, unfortunately. We tried to figure it out and make it make sense for everyone, and it just didn't come out that way. And I've said all I've said in the Golf Week article, and to be honest, I'm moving on and looking forward to a great tournament this week, and not going to have any of that in the rearview mirror. History is history, and things will work themselves out. They always do.
Number 1 on the left here, please.
Roses, in the last 12 months, there seems to be a big kind of shift in the perception of you. What do you think that is down to? Is that down to you being more open on YouTube and stuff like that? And did it hurt you in the past when maybe people saw you more negatively? Oh, well, I think I've always been who I've been. I've definitely matured a lot. It's been a growing process for me over the course of time, and YouTube has massively helped. I can tell you that, and being able to just release the emotions in the way that I know I can. When I was a kid, I was super emotional, obviously, but I got frustrated on the golf course. I got really excited on the golf course. And then when I got out on tour, it was like everybody had to, hey, no, come on, just be in control. Control yourself. And there were times where I got frustrated, but also times where I realized, hey, no, I should be expressing my emotions, because that's me. I don't want to be someone that I'm not. And just really defining that and refining that
into a place where it is today has just been a lot of work in progress, and it's just taken time for me to have a better, bigger perspective on life, and also having a platform where I can showcase that and refine it to a really cool level and give people some great entertainment.
But did it bother you in the past when people probably seen you negatively, and did it?
It wasn't like I mean, you could say it's bothered, but it was more of like, dang, I'm disappointed that people don't see who I am. And it's cool to get people to see who I am now. And I'm just going to keep entertaining and showcasing to the fans what this great game is all about.
Bryson DeChambeau, I think he's become a very interesting character. He's very much grown on me over the last 2 years.
Yeah, I mean, he's a fellow YouTuber now. He's on the internet.
So I'm a YouTuber. I had to get a YouTube channel. I had to get one, and I finally got one. I mean, I haven't really started yet, if you know what I mean. I'm going to get a few subscribers, but yeah, somebody had to set it up for me because I am clueless, trust me. But I thought I'd have a go at it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
are you going to subscribe?
I'll subscribe, absolutely.
Please do. It's Boxy. It's at Boxy, B-O-X-I-E, out of the box.
Out of the box, I see. And there he is. Ooh, new little open bag there as well. I think with Bryce, I mean, his channel and what he's done, I mean, you do forget that only a few years ago, like, he was, not exactly public enemy #1, that's way too harsh, but he was a maligned figure, really, within the world of golf.
Yeah.
And then he's managed to go on this journey of creating his channel. He's like putting himself out there in a way that not many pros can do. And he's gone from this figure of kind of humour that people are laughing at to now he's one of the most popular players on tour in the world.
He certainly is. You see that club he had in his hand there? That Persimmon club. That's the man in the hat on the left. That's John Morgan. He works for Sky Sports and does some commentary with us, and he's got hold of a company, Joe Powell, and he sells these, not sells them, he sort of gives them out really to these players. They're excellent for practicing with. It's the old, you know, it's not laminated, it's a persimmon, but it looks like a lollipop when you put it down behind a ball, because the club heads now are like a bungalow on a stick, aren't they? I mean, they're massive.
Did he show you Tiger's driver earlier this week?
I saw it in the canteen, yeah, earlier on, yeah.
Yeah, John almost definitely did not steal Tiger's driver a few years ago. Now he's brought it to
No, you know him quite well, don't you?
Yeah. No,
he's a good lad, isn't he?
Yeah, he's a cracking guy, yeah.
Poor lad fell over in the compound last week. His ankle. Chipped his bone on his ankle, yeah. Nightmare. He was a lot stockier than this before. He's still a well-built chap, but I mean, he was stockier, and he seems to have toned that down a bit.
Yeah, he's just found that balance, hasn't he? I mean, he's still fit, he's still athletic, but he's just lost a lot of that bulk. Yeah, he said it was making him feel a little bit ill, the amount of calories he was consuming.
Not had a look at his bag, but still got all his clubs the same length?
Yeah, absolutely.
Don't know why. What do you think the thinking is behind every club the same? You know, from your. I mean, his driver is different.
Yeah, so
but the irons are all the same length.
So his approach is, there's a kind of a book called The Golfing Machine, which is a kind of real deep dive at the biomechanics and the science of a golf swing, and he's really subscribed to that. It's, in theory, it's very simple. So all his irons, all his wedges, are the same length, ball position is the same, his swing just follows the same path back and through, and with that in mind, everything should be a lot more consistent. There's a bit more tech as far as like the weighting is concerned, and his lie angle, I think he's sort of like 7-8 degrees upright. His grips are super thick, like tennis grips, and they run up through his left palm, so he can control the club face with that. So it's a very individual approach, but he's done it for so long that he can make it work and make it his own, and he understands it and he trusts it, which is key.
Listen, you're out there with the players all the time. When I was playing, I was always taught, I always worked on the fact that you have the golf ball just inside your left heel. Okay. Then all I used to do was move my right foot in and out. If it was a driver, it would go further to the right, and if it was a sand iron, it would go virtually touching, you know, little pitch shots around the green. And people would say to me, "Oh, you're playing that right for the back foot," but you're actually not. You're just moving your right foot in and out. But do people still work on that, or do they actually move the position of the ball now?
I think it depends on what your approach is. It depends on kind of who your coach is as well. And at the end of the day, it depends on what you're comfortable with. Like if you find a method that you trust and that works, there's no need to change something just because it's more, quotation marks, technically correct, or it's the new in vogue thing to do. It's so dependent as well. With ball position, what you're doing there is you're just trying to set where your low point of the swing is going to be.
The bottom of the arc, basically.
Yeah, exactly. And if you're shifting your centre and your swing centre far forward within the downswing, then a further forward ball position is going to make sense than if someone who's hanging on the back foot. So it's all very much individual. And I think that's what's great when you do wander down this range, that you do have like a ridiculously different amount of approaches. Like Ricky next to Bryson. Ricky's never going to swing it like Bryson. Bryson's never going to swing it like Ricky, and yet they can still go out and shoot fantastic similar scores. I don't think he's going to have that in the bag this week.
No, he's not, but I'll tell you what, it might crack in a minute. He gives it a big hit.
Oh yeah, that's it. Oh, hopefully he's okay.
So we watch Bryson DeChambeau here, and from your number crunching earlier on, Tommy Fleetwood came out as the man that might win the Open here this week. Let's see what he's feeling. He's down there with Nye.
Oh, Richard Boxall, I do miss your dulcet tones. I'm delighted you're back with us in the commentary box. So is Tommy Fleetwood. We're a fan of Richard Boxall, aren't we?
I thought you were going to leave it at just dull. There we go, dulcet. But,
there we go.
We are a fan. We are a fan.
Huge fans down here, and Incy's down here as well. The weather. You're both dressed for Wimbledon or for some summer location.
I reckon I've got Wimbledon and you've got Euros. You've got England.
Have I?
What in all white?
Just for the Open.
Well, yes, yes. Oh, we had Matthew Southgate earlier in the blue and red, so he was wearing British colours.
Have you seen Matthew Southgate's trousers? He's gone. He's just down there. We spoke to him earlier. I said if you've got red trousers, you've got to play a Sunningdale or something.
I can see now. Yeah,
I know. There are some very fashionable golfers today, and Justin Thomas had a sort of a Merlot top on. Okay. Justin Leonard described his top as sort of a Merlot purple aubergine. Anyway, you look great. Summer is here. Good to be here at the Open. You've arrived yesterday from the Scottish.
Yeah. It's always it's always my favourite, the Open. It's just such a cool atmosphere. Like I love everything about it.
The Royal Troon here, you played in the 2016 Open here. You've obviously had great previous results. What was it? 10th last year, 2022 was 4th. There was a second place finish at Royal Portrush. Troon, I can't remember your results. How did you get on in 2016?
If I wasn't last, I was somewhere close to.
Okay, that was an MC, wasn't it? Yeah.
I was. I was.
That's why it wasn't highlighted in my brain.
I was struggling at the time, so Troon got the better of me last time.
So being back here, does it bring back memories of that, or do you just try and start again? This is a brand new week. I'm doing well here, aren't I?
Yeah, I actually found my old course planner before coming away, and there was like. I was basically marking out spots in the rough that I knew were okay, that I could advance the ball from there off the tee. So that was where I was at then. But yeah, that was a long time ago. It was nice to sort of get a look at the course yesterday and play. I played 9 holes yesterday. It's a beautiful golf course and a tough test. So, and yeah, I think I think the standout thing for us, everybody remembers Henrik and Phil, shooting that. But then I think. Third place was like 6 under, wasn't it, or something? So it's easy I think 2 under got in the top 10. It's
a record score 20 under.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, sorry to remind everybody, but this week, but I'm not sure we'll be seeing those scores. I was going to ask because the weather's going to be awful apparently, but we're going to do a Sundance here.
Well, yeah, you're not on the team with psychology. Okay. You're out.
Do you ever have an idea on how low you need to go at the start of the week? Do you have a number?
No, I'm actually useless at that. I very rarely get anywhere near what a winning number would be, but I think sort of better at the tougher venues in terms of like there's sort of a few holes where you've got like a chance or half a chance there, and the rest are obviously tough. But I'm very bad at picking winning numbers, so I just try and go and play.
So maybe not winning numbers, but let's say you go out on Thursday morning, it's flat, calm, it's a beautiful day. Do you have a mental for yourself on what you think would be a good goal to achieve?
Again, No, I think I try not to focus on scores too much. I like playing 3-hole matches a lot because it just keeps me very present. And I try and do that as much as possible, just because it's easy to get a great start, then get ahead of yourself. If you have a bad start and you think they should be shooting a great score, you start chasing. So I kind of I try and keep it as present as possible and focus on that.
That's actually a really good tip for the viewers just tuning in. So what you're talking about there is just playing 3 holes at a time.
Yeah, great.
And then let's say you're 1 over for the first 3, then you can try and shoot 1 under in the next 3.
If I win more than I lose, then I'm going to shoot on a bar.
Oh, very good. We spoke to Todd Hamilton, winner of in 2004, and I just found it fascinating. He was saying his game coming into 2004 Open, he wasn't playing well at all, and even during the Open, he wasn't happy with the way he was striking the ball, but he managed to scramble a score and lift the claret jug. And Henrik was stood next to him and said, no, I have to feel good if I'm going to shoot a 63 in the final day of the Open in 2016. But can you find scores even if it's not going according to your, official game plan?
Ideally, yeah. I think
that's what you've got to have in your locker, isn't it?
That's a great trait to have, yeah. If you can, I said it last week because I played very well last week for most of the week, and I felt like I'd scored, considering the way I played, scored terribly. So I think, again, if you can score better than you play, I mean, that's a great habit to have. And when everybody's going to play poorly at some point, especially over the course of a week over 72 holes. So if you get through those either unscathed or advance while playing poorly, then I mean, that's bodes well for the rest of the week.
Yeah. Great. So we're going interactive. Did you know about this, Incy? We're interactive live at the range, #TheOpenRange, and we are receiving a lot of questions on Twitter and on X. And Tommy, one has come in for you and said, if you're stood on the 18th and you're leading by 2 at the Open Championship, what is your mindset playing the 18th? Oh gosh, see, that's positive for you, isn't it?
I'll be very happy. Yes. Yeah, I'll be happy.
Do you play safe?
It depends where if the guy that's 2 behind me is playing with me, I'm teeing off first, I'll just try and hit a good shot. If they're in, then I might play a bit safer. So do you know what? It's a good question, and I'll plan for that. Great. And if I am 2 shots in the lead, we've got you to thank whoever asked the question.
Oh, there's another one that's come in, and who is your dream 3-ball grouping for the first day? Who do you like playing with, and who do you feel like you play better with?
Really put him on the spot now.
I don't mind who I play with. Everybody in here has got to play, so no, I don't mind who I play with at all. Just look forward to being out there.
Who do you not want to play with?
There's nobody there either, so...
It's so cheeky. It's so cheeky, Incy, but this is what we do at Live at the Range. Thank you, Tommy. You're obviously waiting for your caddy.
My clubs are here, but I'll get to practice eventually when we're done with this.
Oh, good. Oh, here he is. Can we move on to Ian now? Tommy, thank you so much. We're going to go, if that's all right, can we chat to Ian? Finnis, his caddy. Finno, yeah, you are saying it's okay, which is good. How are you?
Good, thank you.
Yeah, great stuff. You've been through, it's been a turbulent, 6 months?
3 months.
3 months. Can you remind our viewers exactly what you've been through? I've seen a few posts.
Open heart surgery, basically.
How long ago was the open heart surgery?
3 months.
3 months.
Actual operation was 3 months ago.
Right. My goodness, that is, I can only imagine, for the whole family, incredibly emotional. Yeah. And how was the recovery?
Yeah, it was good until I came back to work.
How many weeks have you been back with him now?
Last week, it was first week back.
How was that?
Good. Feel good.
Yeah.
Back to normal.
Look at you with your socks. He's got his green socks. He's looking very dapper. Finno, I'm loving them.
Comfortable.
So after 4 days of competition, you flew up here. No, you came over on Monday.
Yep. Yeah.
Great. And to be back at a major after having open heart surgery, just tell us, put into perspective what it feels like.
It's the biggest tournament in the world, so it's nice to get back to it. That was my goal. After the operation, I just wanted to get back to this.
And how much support? Because I noticed that a lot of people have stopped you on the range and said, and you have, Incy as well, and said, great to see you back. We're so delighted. Just give us an insight into what the golfing community here is like.
Lots of people texting me and messaging me when I was in hospital. It was nice. Surprised. It's nice when people care about you.
And everyone cares about you, Finno.
Absolutely, and I think if you've got any well wishes for Finno, #TheOpenRange, send them in, and we'll read
this. Read them
definitely
out. Fine.
I'm feeling good, honestly. Back to normal.
Good stuff. My daughter's actually here. She wants to know what snacks you've got in the bag for Tommy.
Snacks? Yeah. Right now, nothing.
Nothing. What
Just a couple
you need
of
to
bricks
feed it.
instead.
We get them on the tee.
She says to me, "Oh, the players must get hungry, Mum, because she has a snack every 30
Tommy
minutes."
does eat a lot, but not too healthy. We're not really precise people. We like sandwiches.
If you had any sort of food in there,
Sandwiches,
it's for
yeah.
you. It's for
Yeah,
you,
for
not
me.
him.
It's for you. Okay.
Basically, Tommy eats a lot of ham and cheese sandwiches.
Ham and cheese. Well, he's a northern lad. I'm
Exactly.
the same. I'm the same.
White bread.
Well, Nick Fowler used to go around having cheese and pickle sandwiches and play 36
Well, do you
holes
know what
a day.
it is? It's easy to eat. You don't want something in your hand that's messy that will go everywhere and all over your fingers
Ham
and
and
your
cheese.
face.
Ham and cheese.
White bread.
That is our top tip. And have you been to the shop, Tommy? Ian?
No, I have not.
I'm just looking at Tommy. It's been a long
Tommy's gonna
day.
Go for me.
Well, there's some amazing things that.
I wanna go.
Well, on our screen right now, we've got a QR code that you can scan and buy anything that's in the shop. Finna, you've been great. Good luck to you. You're going to play 9
We're going
holes.
to play the back 9
Yeah.
with Justin Leonard, I think.
Oh, great! Yeah,
brains.
97 champ.
Exactly, we're going to pick his brains, we said.
Great stuff. Well, there's some yellow umbrellas in the shop if you need to get. What colour's your umbrella?
We use the open umbrella, don't we? We haven't got one this year.
We'll try and find you. I'm sure you can get a free open. Can we organise a free open brolly for these two? Do you think so?
Yellow open brolly.
Okay.
With a
Actually, they're only for VIPs. Actually, okay. The QR code's on your screen. Thanks, guys.
Okay,
right, I think we can go to a quick break. We'll be back after this. Thanks.
On the tee. She was staring this one down, and for good reason. Look at this. Just delightfully done. She's on top of the world. Going directly at the hole. Tell you what, go on. Oh, get in there.
There's something about the AIG Women's Open.
Oh, my goodness.
There is Tommy Fleetwood right in the middle of your screen there, just clipping a few balls away. Nice to see his caddy. Ian Finnis is back from open heart surgery there, and all is well. I must say, though, Pete, they're going to play the back 9 starting at the 10th. It's a long walk, isn't it, to get to the 10th?
I mean, the 10th is literally the
The
furthest point away from the
airport.
furthest point away from the clubhouse. I mean, there's some very nice volunteers. I'm sure they can get a lift out.
Well, he was good. He was very chatty there with Incy and Dye.
Yeah, it looks nice and relaxed. I mean, that's what you want to be at this point in the week, isn't it? You don't want to be too...
Well, it's early doors, isn't it? It really is. You know, it's only Tuesday. I think you can play too much. You know, let's put it this way, would you do 18 Monday, would you do 18 Tuesday, would you do 18 Wednesday? Obviously there's no pro-am here like there is in a normal event.
I think if it was, let's say it was the first time playing it.
Yeah, you'd go every day.
I'd be doing 36 every day, probably.
Yeah.
But just I'd be way too excited, be way too overstimulated by the time Thursday came, I think.
Yeah, I mean, when the very first Open I played in, we played at Muirfield. So you do Sunday and Monday qualifying, because like the Scottish Open normally would finish on a Saturday, and then you'd all clear off and do 36-hole qualifying. So that would be Sunday, Monday. So at least if you were a pre-qualifier, you couldn't wait to get there on the Tuesday. And then you did play 18 Tuesday, 18 Wednesday. But, you know, sometimes you think, you know, by the time it gets to Friday, you've played 4 rounds. And the 2 rounds qualifying before that, you know what I mean? You think you should have a bit of a day off, really. But when you're young and 19, you think you can do 45 holes a day, don't you?
Tomo kind of working on just keeping his head a little bit still in the backswing.
Yeah.
God, just imagine having Finno's hand on your head.
Yeah.
It's like his older tennis ball.
Do you think that's to stop his head going up or just to keep him at a level? Or to stop it going down a bit? I think his head always goes down a bit when you hit the ball anyway.
Yeah, the way kind of Tommy approaches impact as well, he has kind of a pronounced dip. It's more just pressure into the lead side, and then as he cleared his lead side toward the target, it's all fine. It's all technically pretty much bang on. This will be more probably in the backswing, just trying to avoid a lift.
It's so good, isn't it, to watch? I mean, you watch his swing, you watch most of them nowadays, you think, how on earth do you ever hit it offline? I mean, if you put if you split screen, okay, and you put a Tommy Fleetwood that goes into the second cut of rough on the right with a driver, and the one that rips it down the middle, you can hardly tell the difference.
No, I mean, impact-wise for that kind of difference, you're looking at 1.5 degrees.
Yeah, is that what it is?
Yeah, which is nothing. Like, you're never going to be able to control that. You know,
well, I think, isn't it right, Pete, the average height of a man, let's say 5'10", 5'11", the actual club head, okay, the club head travelling from the ball to the top of the backswing to horizontal, and the club head coming back down to hit the ball, apparently the club head travels about 36 feet. I think it's 18 feet on the way back, because people think of the hands going back, they go, oh, it's about 6 feet. But it's a hell of a way. You thought about that, right? That's got to travel 36 feet and come in dead square. Otherwise, 1 degree out, it's in the rough on the right.
It's not only that with these guys, it's travelling 36 feet, but it's also travelling 120 miles an hour once it approaches impact in some cases. So the actual level of control that the top players have, despite all of that, it just shows like how talented and how much work that they put in.
So here we have our little split screen here, homing in on the grip there and the leg action, and then the full top to bottom on the left-hand side there. See, he didn't look very happy with that, but that looked fine to me.
Tommy does have, it must admit, aesthetically, he has one of the best-looking swings on tour. That's why people are drawn to him. He's just an absolute flusher of the irons, especially.
And he goes down the grip a little bit, always on every club, because?
Just for the feeling of more control. I mean, if you shorten the length of a club, you're going to reduce the overall potential distance, but like with the irons and with the way he swings, that's not what it's about. You know, he just wants pure control.
Yeah, I watched him hitting some balls at the Scottish Open last week. I think it was Saturday. Absolutely flushing it. You just think, God, if only I could have hit it like that for a year. It would have been so nice.
Well, he's one of those guys that when you walk down a range and you do watch people hit, with his irons, there is that slightly different sound. There is that slightly different flight. That's why he's so special. You know, he's Formula #1 amateur in the world. He's obviously won multiple times. You know, he's a fantastic golfer. We just want him to get over the line in that major and just deliver.
Well, he's been very close, hasn't he?
Yeah.
He really has. All the spectators out there huddled under that umbrella. And what's he trying to do here? Stop him getting ahead of the ball?
So he'll be holding that club basically above his forearm, so as his arms come into impact, he'll be wanting the arms to exit low and around the body, so he doesn't want him chasing too far out to the right-hand side from his perspective. Okay. So he'll just want to be rotating, turning, keeping the hands low through impact. That'll allow him to control the club face a little bit more. Keep it a bit more of a straighter ball flight than his usual draw.
How many swing thoughts do you think most average humans can cope with on a backswing to impact?
Can cope with or have? There's two very different
I honestly thought when I was playing, you could maximum for me would be 2.
Yeah.
Good takeaway. You know, one thought on a good takeaway.
Yeah, and I think certainly swing thoughts that revolve around impact, they're almost useless, certainly when you go out to play on a course, because you can't control, like I said, with those speeds. So when you're out on the golf course, if you have a swing thought which is more orientated around target, that's a lot more useful than like a swing position. But as far around swing thoughts go, I mean, most amateurs definitely have too many. There's always that famous image circulating around with the driver head with all the swing thoughts taped to the top of it. There's about 6 of them.
We used to have a guy at our golf club who was a chap called Stephen Freud, who was Clement Freud's brother. I don't think you'll ever remember him. He was a famous man. He was so funny, this guy, and he used to say to me, "Do you know, Richard," he said, "I make 82 lightning corrections between taking the club away and hitting the ball."
Oh, it's why this game drives us crazy, though, because you hit a good shot and you think, "Oh, I've got it. That's what I needed to change."
Oh.
And then the very next shot is changed again. I mean, it's a classic example, really. I mean, the amount of lessons that I've given where somebody comes in, you know, is really struggling with the game. And it's like, "Oh, what are you working on?" I said, "Oh, you know, working on my setup because I did this last week and I hit some good shots, great." I said, "But then it started to go wrong, so I started to change my ball position." And that, okay, and then that went a bit wrong, so I started to keep my left arm a little bit straighter in the backswing. And then I really started to turn my hips a little bit more in the downswing. And before you know it, in the space of 2 days, you've got 4 different swing thoughts, all not doing anything to help your game.
No.
And that's how you just get lost. That's how you get confused.
Do you, Pete, do you prefer to, do you get more satisfaction out of teaching pros or teaching amateurs?
Probably amateurs, because generally the mistakes and the changes that you can make within a, say, 28 handicapper swing, they're going to be more impactful, and they're going to be a lot more obvious to that player than, say, a tour pro.
Is it not easier to get, like, to the pro, like to Tommy Fleetwood or to Bryson DeChambeau, let's say you were teaching them, is it not easy to get it over to them, as to what you're trying to say?
At times, yes, but then the amount of time that it takes to make a tiny change with a tour pro when compared to an amateur, it can also be a longer term project.
Got Tommy Fleetwood right in the middle of the swing there. We are live at the range on Tuesday. 2 days to go until they start teeing it off, and then there'll be a cut to 17 ties to make it through to Saturday and Sunday. Getting another ball clean there. Would you like to join the conversation? Hashtag the open range, do that. I think that's the right way of putting it, isn't it, in this day and age?
Indeed, yes.
I did quite well there.
No, you did. You sound like right up with the times there for a second. There's always a good little competition between the... yeah, you can scan this QR code, which is coming up, and you can join the ballot to get tickets for the Open at Portrush.
That was well done, well done.
Thank you. I'm just following your lead. I don't want to be outdone.
Well, Fleetwood, I think, looks ready to go now, to be perfectly honest.
It's looking very linksy out there now, wow.
Yeah, it's magnificent turf to hit off. It's just beautiful.
Yeah, and the actual course here at Troon is one of probably my favourite Open venue, just as far as like to play. It's fair, it's tough, it's challenging, it's got a good mix of holes, great views when the sun's out as well.
Yeah, magnificent. But a good point he brought up, wasn't it, about making, you know, let's section this course off and let's play 3 holes at a time. And, you know, I want to go, you know, you'd have to say the first 6 holes, first 7, I think, really are scoring holes here.
I mean, depending on what the weather does, but I'd be surprised if there's not 3 or 4 players that manage to be 7 under for that front line. Like,
oh, really?
The way that it's playing as well, because it's not firm, it's not fiery out there. It can be a little bit more positional, and obviously you've got 2 par 5s. And, you know, you can attack that front 9. It's the back 9 where it gets some big issues.
So the camera eases back there from Tommy Fleetwood. A few umbrellas up now. It's just beginning to. It's actually beginning to get a little windy now, as predicted. But we're going to go out onto the course now, and we're going to join up with George.
All right, guys, just to give you a little update on conditions. If you've just played the 17th hole, one of the hardest par 3s I've seen in a very long time, you have to walk down towards the 18th. Now, this is a massive walk. It's almost a pitching wedge to get down here. These boys have just played the 18th hole. Well, they've just teed off the 18th. A great group. Look at them charging into the wind. Here's the following group. But imagine this. you've got a one-shot lead at the Open Championship. Things are heating up. It's intense, and you have such a long walk. It's going to be crowds like this, crowds everywhere. There we go. That's what it's all about. That's how many, like, imagine that with thousands of people lined up, and you've got to walk like this is a long shift. All the way back here. We're not going to make it all the way back there because it's simply too far, but the crowd will be intense, and as you slowly turn, I can tell you now that the wind is really, really starting to pick up. Showers coming into the face. If it's not hard enough to win an Open, try doing it in these conditions. I'm not sure you can see in the distance, but the bunkers are perfectly laid out. Rory just hit a driver, and I can tell you he barely made it to the first trap, which is 267 yards from the back tee. So the wind is starting to do its work. Whew. I'll tell you what, if it's like this or anything worse on Sunday, it is going to be a thrilling finish. But for now, I think I need a duck for cover, get myself one of those warm cups of tea. How's that? We got a little... Oh, that's made it worse, but it's getting wet out here, guys.
On the tee. She's staring this one down, and for good reason. Look at this. Just delightfully done. She's on top of the world. Going directly at the hole. Tell you what, go on. Oh, get in there.
There's something about the AIG Women's Open.
Oh, my goodness.
There's no way I should be here. I should be dead or in prison. I mean, how else would you gauge this? And a guy comes off of a cotton farm, you know, to become one of golf greats? Are you kidding me?
He hit the flagstick, and the crowd erupts.
He just stormed onto the scene.
He's a magician.
He's got it.
I never had any dreams about going on tour. I didn't know anything about it.
His story's amazing. His journey's amazing.
What a great shot.
We were poor. We needed money to buy food.
Rufino, a 28-year-old broke.
Didn't belong. I knew it didn't belong. It was unbelievable.
And he put up with a lot.
That past is so painful to him.
I would like to forget it, to tell you the truth.
Our culture has a short memory, and I think it's time for us to be reintroduced to the Camino.
I'm playing for my life out here, you know?
It is the American dream.
Why, oh, why?
He hustled the world.
We're live at the range for this 152nd Open Championship at Royal Troon. We've been chatting to a fair few players. Di and Incy have down on the range there. Plenty of players. One of the first ones that we saw was Ricky Fowler, and he's made his way down to the open zone, and he's alongside Nick Doherty.
It wouldn't be an open zone if it didn't have Ricky Fowler come and join us in it. Every single time we come here, we look forward to having you come in for a visit, Ricky. For a number of reasons. One, because we've loved watching you play the great game over the years, but also because we know you love links golf and this is our event. What is it about the Open and this style of golf that ticks the box for you?
I mean, there's just so many options. You know, depending on the golf course, but hitting different shots and how it's playing and being able to play the ball on the ground or use the wind, play against it. It's just fun because it brings out kind of the creativity and just hitting different shots.
How hard was it the very first time you tried it? First time you ever experienced links golf?
I loved it.
Straight away?
Yeah, it was just fun because once you figured out, like, you know, how far you can land it short and run it if you need to, you know, really other than being in a bunker, you typically, there's always some sort of shot you can hit to find a way. Some are easier than others. But yeah, it's just fun because you kind of get to draw pictures in your head and hit the shot.
What's the biggest shift in terms of a shot you'll use this week that you're not used to using across PGA Tour golf, for instance?
When you get in some breeze over here, trusting how short the ball is going to go into the wind, mentally getting over, thinking how am I supposed to hit this full or solid and expect it to get hit that much.
Yeah.
The wind over here just is just a bit heavier. So I think that's a big one is into the wind, trusting hey, it's going to get hit, it's going to hurt it pretty good, and so it's more of maybe a mental battle.
Yeah, July, it's the summertime, and this day is a perfect example of what we're talking about. Let's get stuck into our postage stamp 1, 2, 3 challenge.
Okay.
And so we're going to do the usual, a club from driver to 5-iron, a club from 6 to 9, and one of the wedges. So what are your 3 you're going to pick, Ricky?
I might go 4-iron.
Yeah, I like that. I do like that.
6 to 9, I might just try and I'll go chippy 9.
Okay.
And then how far are we looking out there?
1, 2, 3 on the fly.
I'll just go a little gap wedge.
All right, perfect. And you can choose whichever order. What do you want to do first?
I'll start soft.
Okay, I like that. Build some confidence early.
Try to.
All right then, so 1, 2, 3 for you. This is what the gap wedge, is it?
Gap wedge, a little downwind, so I'm going to try and go with my 15 shot.
Okay, I like that.
Roughly.
Yeah, I like that. That's good.
It's still Tuesday, so I got time.
Yes, you do.
Push it.
Oh, that's not bad. Oh, Ricky. 1 shy. Mind you, I think.
I'm happy with that.
I think we'll take that, won't we? Yeah, we like that. It's a good start.
Yeah, we'll go 9.
Yeah, okay. Are you building up to it?
Yeah, I want to ease into it.
So would there be a time, like when you're having to club up, for instance, for playing into a breeze, for instance, trying to take some of that spin rate out of it, is this the sort of shot that you might play out on this golf course, even though the number might lean to, well, it's a full one of these, but I'm going to change up and go with the softer one?
Yeah, I mean, the last couple days it's been, I want to say it was 114 on Postage Stamp, and I was just chipping a wedge. So say if we got, something that was 120 into a little bit of a heavier breeze, I may just go ahead and chip the 9 in there. But there's situations where, I mean, obviously not downwind. I probably won't be chipping a 9-iron, but plenty of times where, kind of more so just to control flight. Once it starts to blow a little bit more, it's not so much about what club, it's more kind of hitting that window so that you can keep the ball in the right window.
Beautiful. All right, let's see it then, Ricky.
23. Oh, I whiffed it. Slightly right.
Yeah, we'll let that one slide.
Yeah.
I think we just don't say anything about it and move on, don't we?
No.
Yeah, let's do that.
Hadn't hit that one yet.
Yeah. Okay, 4-iron. Talk me, how are you going to do it? Are you just going to try and take this out on the fly? Or like, how are we doing it? How are we changing the ball flight? You getting a little stinger shot in here for us?
Yeah, we'll try and go low draw.
Yeah.
With my luck, it's going to be a thin heel that goes over towards the cars. Yeah, back foot, hooded face, and hopefully it's on the right line. Oh.
You overdid the ball flight. Well, can we do one more?
Yeah, we can do one.
We do one more. Tell me how you play. So when you're trying to hit that stinger shot, like what are the things technically that you feel to make this happen?
Well, that one I was just trying to chip there, but if I was trying to hit a really low 4-iron, a big thing for me would be feeling like I stay in posture. Don't really lean into it too much, but kind of that right shoulder staying high and continuing to turn through it.
Yeah, sort of that way through it.
And if anything, for me, I'd like to feel like, a little ended out, feeling like I'm hitting a draw.
Oh, all right. Okay, I like that.
Yeah, for me, I feel like sometimes when you see people, it gets a little steep, and then you get that spinny cut.
Yeah, which sort of defeats the purpose, right? So you got the
you
low
might as well
flight,
just
but
hit a
loads of
normal
spin.
one.
Yeah, I see. Yeah, so that's why the little draw. Okay, I like that. Let's see it.
Oh, I hooked it.
You're better getting them out of the way on the range, though, Ricky. I always
100%.
find. Yeah? Should we leave it there?
That's fine. I'm good with getting all of it out here.
No, actually, no, let's do it. We want you to leave with good thoughts.
What do you want, normal one or
I want
high,
the stinger. I want
stinger.
you to see your stinger. I want to see it, mate. You got this. Yeah, that one's got a flat flight. That's going to run forever.
That was just more for hitting it.
Yeah.
Get it out of the way.
Ricky, thanks so much for coming in to join us. Have a great week, mate.
Thanks.
Lovely to have you with us.
There's no way I should be here. I should be dead or in prison. I mean, how else would you gauge this? And a guy comes off of a cotton farm, you know, to become one of golf greats? Are you kidding me?
He hit the flagstick, and the crowd erupts.
He just stormed onto the scene.
And he has put it in again.
He's a magician.
He's got it.
I never had any dreams about going on tour. I didn't know anything about it.
His story's amazing. His journey's amazing.
What a great shot.
We were poor. We needed money to buy food.
Rufino, a 28-year-old Dodd-Berry.
Didn't belong. I knew it didn't belong. It was unbelievable.
And he put up with a lot.
That past is so painful to him.
I would like to forget it, to tell you the truth.
Our culture has a short memory. I think it's time for us to be reintroduced to the Trevino.
I'm playing for my life out here, you know?
It is the American dream.
Why, oh, why?
He hustled the world.
Where do you see yourself in 10 years? In 10 years, I see myself making partner at this firm has been sold. What? To who? Some multinational out in
Dubai, where it's 7 a.m. and the temperature is very warm.
Welcome, Viv. This is Ben. Anything you need to know, he's your
lawfully wedded husband in good times and in
total chaos. Viv, what time are we expecting twins?
Life is rarely a straight line. Wherever it takes you, HSBC can help.
Crowd's beginning to build a little bit now on the Tuesday here of the 152nd Open Championship. There is a player here that they've all come to watch, Peter.
Yes, I think he's got a bright future in the game.
I think he has. I think he could do well. What a career.
Not entirely sure about Tiger's chances this week. Obviously, coming off a multitude of different injuries, but it's cold. And like whenever it's cold, they always worry about like if he's going to manage to make the cut, really. I remember at St Andrews a few years ago, he looked miserable, like in that weather. So,
well, you know, the swing can look fine, everything can look okay, but what you also remember, golf, yes, is hitting the ball, but you've got to walk as well. And then if you get a bit iffy when you're walking, then it'll go through your swing, and you're struggling, and then you're trying to catch it out with your hands. Now we've got a very well-known hole here called the Postage Stamp. Now let's see if Tiger Woods was hitting to that postage stamp. Let's see where these golf balls would be finishing up.
You don't want to go there.
Don't want to go there. No, I mean it's you don't want to go in any back bunkers either. It's that's the view from the tee. I always used to play this as a I'd play it to the front left of the green and hope I could two-putt and clear off. If you can get 4 threes here, my goodness, you're happy.
Yeah, I mean that front left section of the green as well, like just short of the green, there's a little flat patch.
Yeah.
So if you do spin off a touch, it shouldn't really career off into any bunkers, but that coffin bunker that Tiger's just kind of got into there, you're staring a double bogey in the face.
Oh,
literally straight away.
possibly more.
Yeah.
You know, there's no room at the back of that green.
Take a few of those. It is a strange hole that when you look at it from the tee, if you're just focusing on the flag, it is just a flick with a wedge. It's nothing complicated, but as soon as you understand that the danger that surrounds that hole is so penal, especially if the wind starts to blow in.
Oh, I've played that hole in the past before this postage stamp here on the left of your screen with a I've been hitting 5 irons and all kinds of things. It's just a brutal hole.
Yeah, I must admit, every time, I think I've played it like 5 times now and I've birdied it 4 times.
Have you?
Yeah. There's something about it. I can just hit like a tiny fade and just land. It's just, I love it.
Tiger, been around a long time, 48 years old now. Just the 15 majors, not bad, is it? 3 of those are being opened. Look at that, 683. 683, because that was close. 683 weeks at #1.
It's incredible, isn't it?
Isn't it?
I mean, you know, he's just he's the greatest player of certainly my generation. You know, I didn't grow up watching Jack or, you know, have the pleasure of kind of seeing him in his full pomp. But, you know, for me, Tiger is just the best.
Well, I asked him once at Firestone, because I know that you play flat out all the time, if you know what I mean, and a lot of amateurs think, oh, Tiger sees people catching him up on the leaderboard, oh, he just moves up another gear. And I said to him, I said, please, can you tell me, or can you tell the people listening on the M25 on the radio, please, that what level you play at? He said, I am flat out all the time, which we know he is.
Oh, yeah.
Because you always are. Anyway, earlier on today, plenty of things he has to do, and earlier on he was in a press conference. Let's hear what Tiger had to say.
I'm really looking forward to it. I didn't get a chance to play it last time I was here, and looking forward to the challenges. I know I've gone around here a couple times and lengthened quite a few holes. It's a lot longer golf course and a few added bunkers here and there, but overall it's one of those courses where you're gonna get it on one of the 9s. You know, it's either going out, it's going to be downwind, or coming home, it's going to be into the wind, or vice versa. So half the holes are going to be playing really difficult, and the other ones are definitely gettable.
Okay, well, thank you. We'll take some questions from the floor. We'll get a microphone to you. We'll start in the center here.
Hey, Tiger.
Yeah, man.
You spoke about how it's hard for you because you can't practice as much, and you have to pick your battles. What have you been able to do in the last month that leads you to believe that this week will be different than the ones so far this year?
I've been training a lot better. We've been busting it pretty hard in the gym, which has been good. Body's been feeling better to be able to do such things, and it translates. I'm able to hit the ball better. Can't quite stay out there during the practice sessions as long as I'd like, but I'm able to do some things that I haven't done all year, which is nice.
Okay, next question, Mark at the front.
Hey, Tiger. Could you take us through your decision not to do the Ryder Cup captaincy this go-round, and what your input to Keegan has been, and what kind of a captain do you think he'll be?
Well, the decision was very difficult for me to make. My time has been so loaded with the tour and everything we're trying to accomplish. I'm on so many different subcommittees that it just takes so much time in the day, and I'm always on calls. And I told Seth that I just didn't feel like I could do the job properly. I couldn't devote the time. I barely had enough time to do what I'm doing right now, and add in the TGL starts next year, as well as the Ryder Cup, and you add all that together. And then with our negotiations with the PIF, all that concurrently going on at exactly the same time, there's only so many hours in a day, and I just didn't feel like I would be doing the captaincy or the players and Team USA justice if I was the captain with everything that I have to do. And then with Keegan, I think Keegan's going to be a great leader. He's very passionate about what he does. He's very passionate about the event. I think that this is going to be probably a turnover year for us as for the captaincies, whether it's the captain itself and his vice captains. I think this is the natural progression we've been looking forward to, and I think it's that year.
Okay, we'll take next question, far left over here, please.
Hi, Tiger. Over here.
Yeah.
Always a lot of talk about your future in the game. Hypothetically, if someone ever did advise you to quit, what would you say to them in response, and how would you explain why you keep putting yourself through the pain to play?
Well, I'll play as long as I can play, and I feel like I can still win the event.
And has that belief wavered at all in the last 2 years that you can still win?
No.
Okay, next question, Craig at the back right there.
Tiger, just to almost follow up on that,
you've given so much to this game, you've given so much to this championship. But you know, there was comments, you know, last week from Colin Montgomery who said, why is he here? He should retire. There's no point to this. Do you feel that's a bit hurtful and you've earned the right to you make the decision when you decide?
Well, as a past champion, I'm exempt till I'm 60. Colin's not. He's not a past champion, so he's not exempt. So he doesn't get the opportunity to make that decision. I do.
That's what I mean. You've earned that. You've deserved it.
So when I get to maybe at his age, I can still make that decision. Well, he doesn't.
Next question here, number 1. Yeah.
Hi, Tiger. I wonder if you could perhaps just talk to us a little bit about playing golf back in Scotland, some of your best memories of playing here, and perhaps something about playing golf in front of Scottish fans.
Well, I think that any time I get a chance to play, not just in Scotland, but just in the UK in general, it's different golf. Links golf is very different. The heaviness of the air is just different. The ball doesn't travel as far. And using the ground sometimes as an ally, sometimes as a deterrent. And these pots are not unlike any bunkers that we see at home. So these are they're penalty areas. So you go in them, you're probably going sideways or backwards or somewhere not very far. So it's imperative to stay out of them. There's a way of using the ground to your advantage and hitting shots and shaping it correctly. You look at some of the past champions, they've been artists in how they've been able to maneuver the golf ball and use the ground. This golf course allows you to do that, and there are a few forced carries in which we have to send it a little bit, but it's very fair. It's very, very open right now.
Always like to hear from Tiger Woods. He has came up with some very good points there, has to be said. There must come a point, though, where Tiger sort of thinks, you know, I've got to do another one of these.
Yeah, I mean, as he mentioned, if he's going to play until he feels that he can't win, only he can really make that determination. But, I mean, this year he's not even been close. Like, you know, he's had no realistic chance of winning the events that he's played in. But it's Tiger. Like, it sounds so silly to say, but just repeating those words make you understand that in 2019 he never should have won the Masters either. No. So you don't know. He's such a talented golfer, even with the injuries he's carrying. You can never write him out.
I was with a good old friend of mine, Derek Cooper, and we were playing in Thailand, years and years ago. And Tiger was an amateur, okay, and he had one of these lady caddies that was out there, you know, with one of those strange hats on, you know, you know the ones I mean. And I remember coming out the clubhouse and the tee was pointed up to top right of us like that. And I said to my mate Derek, I said, "Oh, Coops," I said, "there's that guy there." I said, "Tiger Woods." I said, "He better be a decent player with a name like that." You know what I mean? And
he turned out okay.
All right,
yeah,
you know,
he wasn't too bad actually.
But he looks like he's moving a little slowly there, doesn't he? I mean, this man's nothing to prove whatsoever, and you know, it's just. Must be a little sad for him, really.
It's one of those things. He has nothing to prove, and a lot of people who have watched him like during his best moments, they associate him with them. They don't want to see the struggle. You know, they don't want to see a procession of this man. You know, they want to see him up there and competing.
Do you remember in his pomp? It used to be on a Sunday night. If you could turn the TV on, and if you could see that Tiger Woods was 5 behind, you used to think, oh, this is going to be some evening now. But if he was 5 ahead, it was like you might as well turn it off.
Yeah, it's a weird one. Like even when he was 5 ahead, he was one of the very few kind of sportsmen within a sport where I'm thinking, you know what, I still want to watch it.
Yeah,
because it still offers something. Like if, like say, Schumacher in his pomp, you know, if he's a lap ahead, you're like, well, there's no point watching it. But with Tiger, there was always something going to happen. There was always a majestic shot. There was something that he would make you come back and continue to be engaged with. Whereas now it's kind of like you're just hoping for him to make the cut. You're hoping for him to get round, and it's just not the same. And he's also lost, you know, a lot of ground in the key areas where he was the strongest. You know, distance and power. Everyone's kind of like, not everyone, but a lot of people caught up with him there and surpassed him. So that's not as big as a weapon as it used to be. You can't argue with that record.
Cool.
Well.
No, I mean, a little Tiger Woods, you know, when he was playing in his best, and it's the same with Rory McIlroy, really. A season for them would be an outstanding career for anybody else.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, like, if you had 5% of the records that Tiger has, you're going to go down as one of the best players of all time, aren't you?
I mean, you'd love to go around a golf course that you know well, and you'd like to say, I want to see where Tiger's best drive has finished here, and then play the course from there and see what you could knock it around in. You go, what a different view he gets from here.
Still whack it around in 80, I think. That won't stop me. It's really cool, actually. This is one of the best things about golf, and it's one of the great things about the Open is just to the bay left of Tiger here. Liam Nolan, who qualified through Irish Amateur, he's managed to get a bay
right next to him.
I mean, how incredible is that? Just to be able to be there with one of the best players ever, just to watch him, just to be there to see him hit that close.
Open was fantastic. I think I was lucky enough to get into 14 of them, and loved them. Absolutely loved them. I remember in 80, I putted up to the hole at Grey Walls, just outside the Grey Walls Hotel at Muirfield. Putted out, and I saw another couple of golf balls coming. I thought, who's that? Again, it was Jack Nicklaus. I thought, I better get out of the way. Better get out of the way.
Did you?
I did, quickly. I remember I knocked it into the rough. It was 19 paces wide at Muirfield, the fairway in 1980. 19 paces, slight dog leg left to right.
It's amazing how these things stick.
What I do, because I hit a pro staff one, and I remember, and I lost it. It was in the rough on the right, and in those days you had 5 minutes to look at it, to look for the ball. And when you're an amateur, you get called Mister, and you've got a marker going round, and they said, Mr. Boxall, that's 4 minutes. And I thought, oh God! And back on the tee was something like Seve, Nicklaus, and Trevino, or Watson. And I looked back at there, and I thought, if I have to walk back there, I'm walking back onto the tee, over the back of it, through the walkway, into a taxi at Grey Walls, and then going to Edinburgh Airport, because I thought I was nervous enough hitting it in the first place, but if I've got to walk back and play through the tee.
My feet aren't going to stop moving until I go through my front door.
Fortunately, I found it.
Wow. Brilliant.
I found it, and anyway, I made a bogey on the first hole, but after 7 holes, I was leading the Open. And I thought, Bobby Jones, this is it, here we go. And then I watched the rest of it on TV at the weekend.
Yeah. I think as soon as that thought crosses your mind, you're done for.
Your history. Such great memories, though, the Open. And you all get down. You get down onto that range there, and they'll ask you what brand of golf ball you want. A little bit different from the old days. You used to get a sock out and roll 10 golf balls out of a sock and belt it down the range, and the caddy used to pick it up.
Yeah, the operation behind the scenes here is incredible. Like just the simple fact of like getting all the balls inserted to the different manufacturers, getting it labelled up for the players is amazing. You know, the Open really does go above and beyond, and that's one of the reasons why the guys really love coming to play.
And all the tour trucks will be down there. You know, you've got Callaway and TaylorMade and Titleist, you name it, all lined down one side or both sides actually of the range. Players will pop in and say, do you know, can you just tweak these clubs? Can you loft and lie them? And could you put a new set of grips on?
Yeah, yesterday and today, 2 of the busiest days for those tour trucks. Like people coming in, can you adjust a grind? And, you know, can I try a driving iron? Can you adjust a loft on this and that? As soon as it gets to tomorrow, it's probably going to quiet down a little bit, but... Tiger's having a chat, I'm going to relax.
Well, have you ventured out? You ventured out of the course, haven't you?
I've had a wander, yeah.
Yeah, no, I think I'm going to have a wander this afternoon. Am I going to get wet or am I going to be all right?
I mean, we're inside here, so I've not been able to sniff. I've not been able to sniff the wind, but I think there might be a bit of a drizzle in there.
So it's jumper off, waterproof jacket on. Just a light breezy one, you know, the shower-proof one.
Absolutely, yeah.
Just hitting some low shots there, Tiger Woods. I always thought the best way of hitting a low shot. I never really moved the ball back that much in my stance, but I used to slow my hand action down for a lower shot and quicken it up for a higher one.
He's one of the very best golfers in the world. If you are going down to the range and you do get to see him, just to watch him shape the ball around and hit these different shots.
Yeah, I mean, they don't all go down to the range and just belt the ball away. You know, they'll, especially on playing day, they'll be picking targets and they'll be aiming at targets and they'll be trying to move one, as you say, left to right, and then they'll try and move a couple right to left onto the target. As you say, a low one and then a high one, or a shank like that.
I'd call that a heavy fade.
I'd call that, yes,
more than
heavy
anything.
Lemonade, as they
hey,
say.
look, he's gone to the back right pin.
Yeah,
there you
yes,
go.
He has, yeah.
He's doing that one. I mean, he's pretty much his stock shot now, isn't it? He just kind of tries to ease it left to right. Moves that club across his body.
Well, the leg action is nowhere near as lively as it used to be. It can't be.
No. But you can see here as well what he's doing. Like, he'll very rarely hit 2 shots to save. Like from a fade, that was more of a straight, slight draw, probably not his best.
Because of his injured legs, though, Pete, do you think he has to use his hands a lot more to try and correct things?
So, it's difficult because he's got to use his upper body more. He's got to be pressing down with that into impacts as he can't rotate through more. But because he can't rotate through more, it's going to put more pressure on his lower back, and it's just a cycle that continues. It's why he has to get up at 4 hours before his tee time and start working on it.
Well, good luck to Tiger Woods this week. And we're going to go back and leave you in the capable hands of Di, back down on the range.
Thank you very much, Richard Boxall and Peter Finch. Pete, you'll be down here very shortly, but it is all happening. It's one of the busiest ranges I've literally ever seen. We've just spoken to Tommy Fleetwood. He's with Finno, practicing. Fantastic to speak to Ian Finnis after his open heart surgery 3 months ago. He's now back on the bag. This is his second week. He was at the Scottish with Tommy, and walking down here, so many different storylines of how people got into the Open Championship. Please do keep your tweets coming in as well. We're loving receiving them at the Open Range Live. Hashtag the Open Range Live is what we're asking you to type in. Join the conversation. Great to see Tiger Woods on the range. I can watch him all day. My money this week is on Rory McIlroy. We're looking forward to seeing Rory hopefully later on the range. And if my cameraman just pans round, you'll see behind me, I'm sure a lot of you recognise Bob McIntyre, the winner of the Scottish Open last week, and what a finish he had. It was birdie, par, eagle, par, birdie. My goodness, what a finish. He said it was the one he wanted to win, the Scottish Open. He's been partying for the last, I think, 48 hours. And he said it'll be difficult for him to come down from this high. Can he win back-to-back? It's not easy to do, to go onto an Open, but he'll have so much support here at the Open Championship, obviously playing on home soil. From all of us here at Live at the Range, we're going to be back at 2 o'clock, so a 2-hour respite will bring you all the insight from what's happening live at the range.